50
I'm singing the
hours to
Strikers
roll,
music.
nearly 50 hours, man.
Man, you're about halfway through the game.
That's madness.
That game
Madness.
it's not paced well. It's not.
All right, what's
No
up,
way.
everybody? That's not here because we're starting 2 hours early. So hopefully some people get the notification. But otherwise, you're watching us on the replay.
Phone.
You're watching us on the replay, and yeah, I had work off for the next 2 days, or I was off work. I know Rob, you're struggling staying up.
Yeah,
and
man.
clocked it in retro. T wasn't gonna be here anyway, so I was like, you know what? I forgot to message Terrell till about an hour ago. So luckily you could make it.
Yeah, I just happened to get off early enough. I just literally got in the door. I got in the door. I grabbed a cup of cereal and I'm here. That's it. That's all.
Hey, at least that's an appropriate. He's eating out of a cup though, so it's not a bowl like his usual. So
I couldn't get my hands on the bowl. I needed someone to handle. I like the handle. God damn it.
Drinking cereal, let's go.
Hey, that's a
eats
lifestyle.
chicken out of a bowl, eats cereal out of a cup. That's Terrell. That's why we love him.
That's the life we living out here, man.
So, since we were just talking about game time, let's just start with a topic that probably won't spend too much time on, because we didn't really. I forgot about it a couple weeks ago. I knew there was something I wanted to mention in the last month or whatever. Was the guys who made Dying Light were bragging about the 500 hours it takes to complete the game?
No, it was 5,000. He said.
No, it was 500.
Or was it? No. I think it was 2,000. I'm not even joking. Let me see.
No,
hold on.
It was like a.
He literally tweeted like 500. So whatever to complete it.
Let me show you. I'll show you.
People were a ton of backlash, and he's like, "Well, let me just clarify. That's to 100%. You can finish the game in 30 to 40 hours."
Yeah.
Because at first it was a bragging point, and then everyone's like, "What?"
No, he said 5,000. He said
5,000. Oh, I guess I read it wrong. My apologies.
This in-game poster of one of our testers. He clocked in about 5,000 hours in Dying Light.
Was there a tweet though? It was a tweet saying like,
it's a tweet. Yeah, it's a tweet.
So they thought that was some challenge they were going to throw out and get gamers excited, and it had the complete opposite effect. And then they had to like quickly.
Okay. So Juice, you're also right. Essentially, what he did is he said 5,000, and he had to go back and correct himself, and he said 500. And then he showed
the one I saw was 500.
Yeah. So he corrected himself. What he meant was 500.
But then he had to correct himself again and say, "Well, you can complete the story in like 30 to 40 or whatever it was."
Yeah.
And that's just to like do everything and all the dialogue and stuff, all the side missions, listen to all the dialogue. And people are like, what the fuck? Like, that's...
Go eat a dick.
Read the room, man. Read the fucking room. That's not what people want to hear. Like...
Bruh. And you know what made
it
fun?
hours retro has in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it's about close.
You know what
5,000 hours out of any game.
You know what made it funnier is that I went and looked on the news article, and the next article under it is how in the UK, even though Dying Light 2 came out, Pokemon Legends was still outselling it.
Well, that's the other piece of the puzzle is the game comes out and everyone's like, yeah, there's all this extra nonsense. Like they really bloated this game and lost the core appeal of what the first game did. I watched 2 reviewers and they basically said the exact same thing. There's some cool stuff in there, but it's just so much extra, like not fully realized things, mechanics and things they're trying to get you to do to make it like, I don't know, almost feel like an RPG, it sounds like. And it's just like reviews, I don't know what the Metacritic landed on, but it wasn't sitting very high, like 7. Well, for Robert it's high, but I think it was like in the 70s or something.
Well, that's not saying a lot for coming from Robert.
Well, to be fair, but again, the first Dying Light was lower than that.
Was it?
It's 77 on.
Which I mean, it's not bad, but
which
on PS5 it's 77.
Is really good. But also the
user score is like 60. Just to give context,
I don't even look at user score. They could put 0s and 10s. Like,
but
user score is you.
No one has a reason to like
literally go
review
on
bomb
user score and check the zeros, and I guarantee you one's gonna be like, I actually really love this game. It's gonna be like, what? Are you stupid?
People said that with Breath of the Wild, you had reviews that literally said, I absolutely love this game. I just don't want to have a 10, so I'm giving it a 0.
Exactly. It's worthless.
I see that for like big title, like everyone's talking about high profile games. I don't see people doing as much for like just an average release, I guess you would say.
Look. Here he goes.
Yeah,
Right?
they normally don't.
I lit the first one. I just scrolled down one. From where a good man named Scream gave it a 0, and his thing is poor optimization on consoles. And where is the Italian language? 0 out of 10.
Hey,
It's like, come on,
that's a
man.
0 right there. That's legit now. But I would say the averages outdo the the highs and the lows. There's probably as many people giving it 10s unfairly as there are 0s, so that should
Oh, 100%.
technically
No,
average
that's what I
out.
mean. Like, it's always 10s and 0s. I don't even bother.
But if you have like 500 people, and that's the average is probably going to be closer to the actual than the two extremes. So just either way, but I just thought it was kind of funny. Like, we didn't really talk about that, and kind of goes into what Platinum's just tweeted today about having their games live on beyond just like a single play through type of experience, with them wanting to do like games as a service.
I think the Platinum thing is, we're going to go into it probably, but
Yeah.
it's taken out of context. I don't think it means what people think it means.
What do you mean?
I think it means exactly what it means.
Well,
They're trying to find ways.
Yeah, my question was like, what do you
people
mean
think-
when you say that?
Well, because what I read is everybody thinking, oh, they're gonna like stop making like hardcore games. We're gonna get like this shit. It's gonna be like microtransaction and seasonal and stuff. I don't think that's what it means at all. A great example, they just want their games to be timeless. For example,
Mm-mm.
Bayonetta 1 is super outdated. Mario Kart 8 is still fucking looking better than most things now. It doesn't necessarily mean they want to make microtransaction seasonal shit.
Did
all
you
of a
just say
sudden.
Bayonet? What is super outdated?
Graphically,
Sorry,
visually,
Graphically.
fuck yeah, it is.
Visually,
No, it's not.
sure.
Compared to
I
the
would
second
not.
game,
No,
especially.
not. It's not.
Visually, I can see the argument. Mechanically, no.
No, I
You
mean,
can't-
I specifically mean visually.
Visually,
I could see that. argument.
Visually,
Bayonetta
it's
2
not.
still
It's
holds
not a
up
very
today,
pleasant. I don't
feel.
think it's a very pleasant
Bayonetta
looking
1,
game.
dude,
No.
I love you, man, but Bayonetta 1 looks like vomit. It looks
Vomit?
horrible.
Come on! That's so extreme. That's so extreme.
Doesn't look like
That-
that. Anyway, we can get into that a little bit later, because I think Retro's. I wish you were right, but I don't. I think it meant exactly what it sounded. But let's get into what have you been playing lately? If anybody started anything new or finished anything, now's the time.
So what did you ask?
I played there's an arcade near me. I was telling these guys, and I played Turtles in Time for the first
Yes.
time. Played it in.
I've never even seen the arcade version.
No,
Yes.
it was cool because what's great about this arcade is that admittedly without this I probably would not be able to finish it. But you could continue playing as many times as you want, so you could just like continue from where you last left off and just keep continuing.
Mm-hmm.
So technically I have like unlimited lives essentially, and it's great because technically they don't take quarters. They just it's as if you put in a quarter, you just continue. So
Shut up. What turtle did you go? Come on.
Did you play multiplayer or just single?
No, it was just me, man. Hold on, I was a little drunk. I have to say
Donatello.
what turtle I was actually playing.
Donatello, Michelangelo.
I legit don't even know.
The
bro,
original
to be honest with
arcade game to
You don't know
me.
the turtle names? What the fuck?
What?
you. No, I know the turtle names, but
We about-
I don't remember who I played as.
I'm about to say we about to-
Did
I
he have a
was about to- I
sword?
was
Did
about
he
to
have a
swing on you
staff?
in a
Did he have
minute.
nunchucks or fucking two
What
pointy
did you have?
things in his hand?
I played
Size.
as
I didn't.
So
I know
weird.
he wouldn't know what that meant.
Michelangelo, because I got the
Oh.
orange right here. Let me show you.
That sounds like you actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
So
sounds
did
like you.
was there a level
You forget that
where
you're playing with Michelangelo. Anyway.
where you're on like some kind of hoverboard or something, and you kept
Um,
getting your feet attacked, and they'd say my toe, and hop up and down because they did that on the Super E NES. That don't
No, I
sound-
don't remember. That doesn't sound. Hold on. See, I'm not gonna. Damn, man. How did it? Was it black?
That's the only thing I remember about that game. I played it 30
see.
years ago. My
I'll-
buddy got it before I even had a Super NES.
I'm gonna
We
show you.
played it.
I'm gonna send the.
And I remember that all four turtles had the same voice for my toe, and I don't remember what the level was, but that's literally the last time I never even seen the arcade. I didn't even know there was an arcade.
Okay, yeah. No, yeah, I know. Yeah, okay. You're talking about when you're on the hoverboards and there's like these red things coming in and there's a bunch of ninjas and shit.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know
Something
what
would
you're
hit you, and then they
talking about.
would
Yeah.
like
And he
say
goes, my
that.
toe.
Yep.
'Cause I think it's the orange things, like these
Yeah.
orange things kind of
See,
passing by.
isn't that funny how that memory stuck with me for 30 years?
That's
that
crazy.
one
Trauma. It
moment.
sounds like trauma.
It's
That's
just
crazy.
weird. It's just like that's just one of those things where it ingrained in my brain from playing it so much when
And
it
it's-
first came out.
Well, that's what's cool is because even like so I played there's this X-Men arcade machine and it's like a 6-player arcade cabinet, and I played, it was just me just playing, but
Who
you know, I
was it?
get to
Who
go-
were you? I'm gonna look here. I can't remember.
No, I that
It
was
was the orange
Wolverine.
one.
Fucking
I was fucking no, I was not Wolverine. I was holy shit, this is so stupid
Cyclops.
no, you see,
Damn.
now that you put me on
Rogue.
the spot, I actually don't
Wait,
remember.
Gambit.
come on,
Gambit.
yo.
Hold on. I have to.
Come on.
I'm blanking on the name, bro. I'm blanking on the.
Who else
What
would
did
it
it
have
look,
been?
what did
It was
look
the
like?
dude from Deadpool. Metal
Hey,
guy.
Oh, fucking Colossus
Yes. Wait.
or a
No.
Juggernaut.
I'm the
No,
juggernaut,
no.
juggernaut, bitch.
No.
I'll rip you in half now,
Wait. What the hell?
dude.
That's bad.
The fact
No,
that
yeah,
you
it's
have
Colossus.
to
It
say the
was
one
Colossus. It
from
was Colossus.
Deadpool makes
It was
me just so
Colossus.
sad.
Yeah, Colossus.
At least he wasn't like it was that guy from the MCU from Iron Man or whatever.
He's in the
From-
MCU now. Deadpool.
That
Tony
one
Stark. I don't know his first name. What's his
Avengers:
last?
Age of Ultron. Oh,
Something
Quicksilver.
Stark. You got some Stark
yeah,
tower or
Colossus. My
something.
bad. So yeah, Colossus, and it was that was really cool too, and especially I mean it would be cooler with 6 people, you know, all decked out. But you know, a lot of times it's just just me chilling and playing some game, and that's why with Turtles in Time, there was one time that I did play like some of my sister, but this was the second time I went and I ended up it was just me, so I was just playing, and it was good stuff, man. It's fun. I wanted to play. I was playing 1943 for a little bit, but
Fucking let's go! It's like one of the best shooters fucking ever.
but I didn't, because there were some friends that were gonna come over. So the game's like an hour. So they were gonna be there in like 10 minutes. So I was like, all right, well I'm not gonna play this now. I know I'm gonna come. I want to go there by myself for like a whole day and just play everything, you know. So one of these days I'm gonna go. I'll make
I
a
say
video.
we
out
all
of it.
head to fucking New Jersey, wherever you're at,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
play some multiplayer Ninja Turtles.
Play some multiplayer,
and
yes,
X-Men.
man. Hell
We'll
yeah,
run through that without dying.
Yeah,
Fucking
literally.
Yeah, me and my cousin used to play the Ninja Turtles arcade game at a fucking convenience store. It was like 2 blocks from my grandma and grandpa's house, and that's the main reason, like, we would stay there, like, so that we could go to the arcade. This
Really?
is before the NES game came out, so if somebody knows, that's probably 87, I want to say, when the arcade game came out for this NES, maybe 88, and we would go there. It was just us two. It was literally in a convenience store right by the door. We used to steal cigars from there, like Swisser Sweets, but we'd go in there and play Ninja Turtles, and that was one of my fondest memories, honestly, of any arcade game. It wasn't in an arcade, but it was one of my favorite arcade experiences,
Yeah.
and
Well,
we got pretty good at it.
Well, that's what's cool
Oh, stealing cigars, I would imagine.
about these the one near me, because it's legit like its own it's like, you know, an experience I've never thought I'd be able to experience, because now, you know, Dave and Buster's, they have that, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of mobile games made into arcade games. You know what I
Not
mean? It's
really.
not the same.
Not the last time I haven't been there in 10, 15 years.
Oh well, trust me, man. It's a lot of
Damn,
mobile
son.
games. Like imagine, like, you know, Fruit Ninja, Doodle Jump,
Really? That's
Candy, like,
stupid.
I mean, like a bunch of stuff just made into mobile games and
That
into
just
arcade
bums
games.
me
Last
out.
time I
And that's
went,
legit the arcade games.
there was like, you know, the typicals, the Time Cop, or not Time Cop. What
Time
was
Crisis?
it?
Time
What-
Crisis?
No, Virtual Cop,
Yeah.
Virtual
Virtual
Crisis?
Fighters, you know,
Really?
It was
Dude,
more of a
none that's
blend
in-
of
at least
old
for
and new.
me.
Time Cop. That's a Van Damme movie.
I know.
like that film.
they had like
Yeah,
a
like
Daytona. Then they had some newer ones. They had like a Jurassic Park one that was like a huge unit,
Yeah.
but they were like $5 to play. I didn't play
That's another
anything.
problem. That's another problem too. That it's like, you know, even if you want to play some of these things, you know, you run out of credits and shit, and then you got to pay more.
Yeah.
And what's cool, at least there they have I know they have the Luigi Mansion or the Mario Kart Arcade. That's not at the one that I'm at. But like over there, you have it's a all old school machine. You're talking about Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, Street Fighter 2. You have Marvel. What was it? Marvel versus X-Men, or Street Fighter versus X-Men. Yeah, something like that. And then you got I mean, Crazy Taxi, Cruising Blast, Cruising USA, I think. And then,
I gotta throw out a
bunch of
warning
stuff.
here because it's been cold and dry. I just pet my cat. I'm afraid to touch my mouse because I've zapped my computer like 3 times in this past weekend, and my computer just screens go blank, and I have to restart my computer. So
How does that even
Damn.
happen?
That's
like,
crazy.
You
It
have like a
happens
really
to me
new
pretty
PC,
frequently.
right?
it happened when I put this new case on, and the wires had to get smushed into the case to get the back plate on, and I feel like they're just a little too close to the metal back plate, which I tried to fix and I didn't. So I'm gonna try not to touch my mouse right now. I don't have anything else near me to touch. I shouldn't have pet the cat. That's all
I was gonna say that happened to me. That me at work. I fucking shocked my laptop and everything blacked out. I went fuck.
Damn.
He does it all the time on mine, and
Because it's cold.
I should try to get a new
Really?
see if a
Holy
new
shit.
surge protector will fix it. But either way, Brebe said Ninja Turtles at the 7-Eleven. I think it might have been a 7-Eleven that we went to. So, yeah, good trip down memory lane there. Too bad the NES game didn't quite capture. It was good, but it didn't capture that arcade experience.
I mean, there's only so much you can do.
It's better than the first Ninja Turtle game
It's
that
like,
Retro Death loves.
I can't imagine judging what a NES game looked like back then based off the arcade.
It didn't
I
have
rejected it. I just can't imagine it.
it just didn't have the right, it had the
It's
basic
I
core
think
gameplay, but it was missing so much of the
it's maybe because it's really the only version I play, but I actually think Double Dragon on a NES artistically looks better than the arcade machine.
Oh really?
I always preferred the way the NES version looked compared to the arcade.
The Ninja Turtles arcade looked a lot like the animation, and then the NES game just looked like they could have been Double Dragon dudes but green, and Bebop and Rocksteady didn't have they were just like non-animated sliding across the screen, whereas in the arcade, they were animated, and just it had the core of it, but it kind of lost the soul of the experience, I thought. But I still owned it and played it, and it was only 2-player.
Good, though. Like close
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah, like I never owned that one, and
Turtles in Time is on Super Nintendo.
yeah, that's all I ever knew of it. I didn't even know it was an arcade game. So
I'd be interested to see the difference because I don't.
And then you had Hyperstone Heist, which was on the Mega Drive or the Genesis.
I think Street Fighter 2 Turbo was like the first, like the closest to the arcade. It was like the first time I was like, wow, that's really close to the arcade. Mortal Kombat was okay, but the characters were a lot smaller, and you just lost. And then Killer Instincts when the arcades were well above what the Super NES could do, and that was.
Yeah, I know you're saying this now, but not like when that game actually, like when Street Fighter World Warriors actually released, and whether you played it on the you would have played on the SNES because Championship Edition was the first one on the Genesis, the Mega Drive. But when it came out, then were you actually in the mindset going, man, this looks nowhere near as good as the arcade machine? I don't like this vision.
I was like, damn,
Were you
this
like,
looks.
fucking shit, man! I can play Street Fighter at home. Fucking.
I literally was like, this is the closest I've ever seen to an arcade game at home. I literally thought that the first time we played it. I mean, I was thinking that with the NES. I'm like, this is not even close to the arcade. So that was the first moment.
That's that. It's like it's just where my brain just wasn't. It's just like I think just
you weren't like, oh my god, I have an arcade game. It looks almost just like the arcade.
I wasn't even thinking that. You just
Never
it's
in
kind of
a
like
point.
just with your Game Boy and stuff. You just like, oh my god, I'm actually playing this at home, or I'm playing this in handheld. I'm not like comparing the two, because it's just like back then you knew what the arcades could do, and you still knew what you were getting with your console. So I suppose just in my mind I was never in that type of.
What about when the
variety.
Dreamcast? You weren't like blown away by
the Dreamcast.
Soul
The Dreamcast was different then because I was 18, 19, and by then coming off the Sega Saturn, after my disappointments like with Daytona and Sega Touring Cars, even though I love Sega Rally, I still love the sound version of it. Is Dreamcast was finally that moment where you're just like, right, now we're getting
Actually, it was better.
almost one to
Soul
one.
Calibur was
Soul
significantly.
Calibur was better, but you once you go across the breadth of the Dreamcast library, there's probably more failures, arcade failures,
Yeah.
than there are arcade one to ones.
Yeah, I don't feel like
But
Crazy
then
Taxi
I wasn't.
was quite as impressive.
Yeah,
Really?
but well, I didn't mind Crazy Taxi.
Maybe
Crazy Taxi
it was a different one.
was good.
Was it-
But like Sega Rally 2, as an example, was a letdown. But then Sega didn't actually develop that game themselves. But anyway, let's not go off on that.
Yeah.
Dreamcast brand here.
But anyway,
Dreamcast
I
was
just
fun as hell in the arcade, man. I have the Dreamcast version. I can't wait to get a Dreamcast so I can play that. It's such a good game, Crazy Taxi. Super fun.
we'll get it. We won't get into that discussion about those types of games for me at home.
Oh
But
god.
so I started a new game since the last podcast. I don't know if anybody watching knows. If you don't follow me on Twitter, so there it is.
What?
Pokemon
What? Did you really?
Arceus
No way.
Legends. So I told Terrell, I'm like, bro, I was like, he sent that link. Walmart and GameStop have it for $49.94 or whatever. So I went immediately on to Walmart and I was like, ships in 3 to 4 days. I don't want it. I waited like an hour. I check again. It was completely sold out. It still showed the price. And I'm like, but it didn't say shipped and sold from Walmart. So I'm like, it's like, fuck, will Best Buy match the price? So I go to Best Buy and they had one fucking copy. I grab it and I was like, well, let me check GameStop. And GameStop still showed it, add it in your cart for $49.94. I show the dude, well, he has to get it on his phone, apparently. They must have some policy. I'm like, dude, it's right here. I'm scrolling. Here's the price. Oh, that's cool. And he gets on his phone and he's like, well, just trying to wait for it to load. And he tells the guy, he's like, yeah, I can't believe GameStop has this. He's like, oh, it's probably just to members only. He's like, no, as soon as I added it to my cart. He's like, and so he goes, well, I guess he puts it in. He's like, man, didn't even need manager's approval on this. So I was like, cool. If I wasn't going to get it for that price, I would have just set it down and walked away. I wasn't going to pay $60. Because in my mind, I was like, I told Terrell, this is like, what's the word I use? Like the struggle to come to terms with buying a Pokemon game reminded me of the first time I bought a PlayStation, my PS3. I felt this internal struggle, like I was cheating on Nintendo, and that's how I felt with Pokemon. I'm like, I can't believe I'm buying a fucking Pokemon game, and it just was so, like, I just never thought I would, and so I was just like, God, everything I see about it, I like what I'm hearing. I think it looks fun, and I like what people are saying is fun about it. Sounds like something I'll enjoy. So I got home. I had to cook, so at about 7 o'clock, I turned it on. And then I turned it off at about 12:20 a.m.
Damn.
And I told Trell, God damn this game. Next day, I turned it on at 7, turned it off at about 10:30.
Damn.
I'm like, fuck. So it is very addicting. And I told Clocked it. I said, you should just be happy. I'm playing a turn-based fucking RPG style game. Like, I never enjoyed.
I'm finding a lot of joy just the fact that you're playing a Pokemon game. That just makes me happy.
I'm just happy about that he picked up a Pokemon.
I don't really think
And
I
he's
could
like,
go
I
to the
enjoyed
other
it.
games. I just
No,
really
you
like
can't.
this one
No, you wouldn't.
in particular. But I'm really enjoying the turn-based combat. Like, what a difference seeing your Pokemon, your Rapidash, go up and headbutt the fucking other Pokemon, and this thud and the sparks fly out, and you hear this impressive thud of sound, and I'm like, and you're just walking around as it happened in real time. It
That's
just
cool.
To me, like, that makes such a difference compared to watching Terrell play Sword and Shield the many times I watched you play when you're talking with your Pokemon group.
Yeah.
And just seeing the little hop of it, and then you hear a sound and some numbers go up. It's just so
well
much
done.
more. And I know Retrodeath that was the big kicker for you with Sword and Shield when they did
Yeah,
that
man.
scene.
I wanted to pick it up so bad, but I couldn't.
it just
That's why I
feels
got
that,
so excited about this game too, like you said. Like the fact that like, there's contact. Like it didn't require much.
and it's fun to watch. Like I don't feel like I want to speed through. You can't speed through the battles, but I wouldn't want to speed up that cool animation of that attack. Like it seems small of a change, but it's, to me, well, not having played any of the others, but to me it just feels, I couldn't go back from that. Like I can't go to them not doing that. So overall, I probably have 15 hours. I only played it
Damn.
4 different play sessions, so I'm gonna guess I have close to 15 hours, and I got I've had 2 Pokemon fully evolve. I think, I don't know, they evolve twice or 3 times. How many times?
It depends on the mon. Certain Pokemon don't evolve at all. Some evolve once, and some of them evolve twice.
All right. So my starter,
Some can evolve in seven
Oh
different
yeah,
forms.
who's your starter? Who's your starter?
Sin something. He's a fire.
Cyndaquil.
His new form, his 3rd form, is pretty awesome.
One
I didn't
of
like
the
the
starters in this game.
Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott. So Gen 2, Gen 7, and Gen 5.
I think I took him out. Yeah, I did, because I already had it. I finally got my Alpha
Rowlet's a badass, man.
Rapidash, and I took out. I don't remember.
He is
his
a
new
big
name.
bastard.
He's huge.
He's a big bastard. Those
My-
Alpha Mons are ridiculous.
Here's my one complaint about the audio is, like, I had a Pikachu and it says talk, and I'm like, all right, he's gonna say Pika Pika. No, he goes something to that. It sounds like
Wait,
an
really?
8-bit game, like a
Here's
car
the-
crash sound effect.
But here's the kicker, Juice. This is the first game in, like, I want to say 9 years to
Where
go back to
Pikachu
that.
doesn't say Pika.
Yeah, Pikachu's been saying
Yeah.
his name since like 2013 in X and
Since
Y.
the game, since
Oh, really?
Pokemon Yellow, I think almost.
They had him say Pikachu, and then for some reason, this is the first game they were like, "Nah, I think we're good." And I'm like,
It's just so weird
What?
anyway that they don't just have all the Pokemon do that. They probably just don't want to put in the effort. Because I
You
mean,
have to-
they
listen,
technically all do it.
listen, You need to understand something, Retro. If you've watched any bit of the anime, you know
Oh, I've seen a lot of the anime.
some of that shit don't sound as cool in fucking
Well,
English
for sure.
versus them just making animal noises. Fucking
I've-
weeping bell.
This is my
Always.
starter
I've
now.
always hated
Oh,
it.
there you go.
Oh,
You can
There
kind
he
of see him.
is. He's
Look
a
at
cool
that.
boy.
He's a good guy.
Good
And the
boy.
dude's huge.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
You think he's huge?
Yeah.
so
One of the coolest things is that they actually tried to scale the Pokemon to their actual sizes in game.
That's
Like, if-
very
if-
better.
That's
which-
super cool. Then.
The other games don't
I can't even
stop
get-
doing that.
I can't even get the
when I saw
Rapidash.
footage of Sword and Shield, and somebody had like a Wailord, and this tiny ass will pops
Check
up.
this
I'm like,
out,
"What
Robert.
the is?"
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah. That is, and that's not, and
That's
that is-
cool that they could be that big.
and that's
the
not,
alpha.
and that's
In the
not,
world?
and that's not the normal size for them.
No.
That's the alpha one. So he looks.
I haven't
fucking-
even
have a
seen.
question.
You
no,
could ride that guy, right? You could ride him.
no.
No.
That's
You're
what
not wrong.
this is what I was
Oh.
gonna ask, because in the trailer you see them ride and fly and swim on one Pokemon. Are
Yeah.
those the only ones you have? You can't actually ride a Rapidash, for example.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
It's kind of a shame they did that. It makes no sense.
Wideer is the only.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
okay,
can-
look
all
at
right,
that. That's
so,
cool.
I'll show you a little bit. I'm not gonna show you anything crazy, but I'll show you. Hold
How
on.
many
Spoilers.
hours you got
Switch out
with
for me as well.
Terrell?
So, I'm learning the
I'm
basics.
losing communication.
No, we're good.
I think he's on there.
I'm
okay.
trying to
Can you hear
figure
me?
out. Yeah.
All right, let me.
The
Oh, I
last
think
3
clocked
games
it
he
was
played was
Oh, it
Pokemon
was-
Legends,
oh,
Pokemon
it was-
Sword, and then Pokemon Home or some shit.
Yeah, I looked
I
at
saw that.
I looked at your last 3 games played on Switch, and same. I saw the same.
Hold on, let's see if I get the damn.
Jay?
thing.
All right, so just kind of wrap up my thoughts. It's really fun. It surprisingly, it is what I was afraid it wasn't going to be. It's very focused on nature sounds. You're out in the wild. You just hear the wind and stuff. Like there's some music, but I was worried that it was just going to be kind of like annoying sounds. But it's actually
What is that, a shrine or something?
Yeah,
what
I'm
are you,
later.
bro?
I'm later in the game. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I'm very worried.
No, don't worry about it.
I know.
What the fuck
Oh,
is that
cool.
thing? Yeah, you can throw out all like 6 of them, and they're just
Oh,
standing
really?
there.
That's cool. So you can take like photos with them and shit. Man, I don't know any of these names.
Oh, you have
Wait,
what's his name?
no, that's an electro bulb or some shit.
No, it's Voltor, but this
Typhlosion. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Typhlosion is his name. Yeah. Is he dead? Why is he? Hold on. Why the hell did you do that?
Yeah. So this is going to be the Pokemon Juices Pokemon Loose podcast from here on out. So all we're going to talk about is Pokemon from here on out. So
this is like showing off the blades.
Whereas before there was a Pokemon ban.
We used to have a time limit of 5 minutes or so.
Hey, listen.
Remember when we were showing off the blades in Xenoblade? This is like what it's like. It says Pokemon.
Let's see. Yeah, I need to heal him. I was in the middle of a dungeon. That's why I'm in a dungeon right now. Oh, I will show you the riot Pokemon.
I didn't even know there was a dungeon.
I changed that guy's name to Magnum Size that one time.
No, because I'm in the dungeon. I can't use my riot Pokemon.
Yeah.
Fuck you, game. Oh, that's lame.
I do like Sylveon.
Yeah, this is also another form
awesome.
of
Espeon, I know that
yeah,
one.
Eevee can evolve into like 7 different forms, dude. So like you have Sylveon, Espeon's another evolution, and then there's like what 5 other ones.
I need my Leafeon, man.
I've only seen one other Eevee since I've caught this one in the first like 20 minutes of playing.
Is Weevil in the game?
Yeah, but he has a new evolution.
Oh, okay. I like Weevil as a character. I think he's really cool.
Actually, Voltorb is a different evolution too. This thing is it's electric grass instead of just being electric like it used to be.
The whole thing about Voltorb is that he's supposed to look like a Pokeball, so obviously they had to like give him a new form because the Pokeballs are different.
Well, remember the Pokeballs are made out of trees.
That's funny.
That's the reason why he's have grass now.
I like that a lot.
And the heavy Pokeballs, they don't go for shit. Like I went to throw it and it went like 5 feet and the other one just goes as far as I wanted, and especially the flying one to catch like the flying Pokemon. I go to throw, it's like and it's like I was like, oh, okay. I guess let me get a little closer. I arc it and it's like it makes it halfway.
Damn.
Yeah, they're heavy the weight does matter. The weight.
What about Gen 8 Pokemon? They have any Gen 8 stuff?
I thought I saw somebody that was like, that's going to turn into Greninja, but
no, you don't. Since this is technically based off of Diamond and Pearl, most of the Mons are based off of Diamond and Pearl's Pokédex. So
there's no Sword and Shield shit. So I'm not going to recognize anybody in terms of that.
Well, I mean, Sword and Shield also had other things.
No, it had other.
I recognized
Gen 8 wise.
from that
Gen 8
cosplayer who builds costumes. She did the it's like a hammerhead shark head, big blue guy.
Garchomp.
Yeah, I seen a clip on Twitter, and this is like it's not going to be the Breath of the Wild like a year from now. People are finding shit, but this person went to throw a Pokeball. It hit something invisible because the hit detection was a little off. Turns around and that fucker's like going, and then it cuts off right before the hit happens. Like it was just funnily, it was edited so fun, like it was just so funny to watch. But yeah, you can play the game in first person too. You can run around first person.
Yeah,
really,
and throw Pokeballs and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly,
but when you dive, it doesn't like the camera doesn't roll when you roll. But I was like, yeah, you can play this whole game in first person probably.
And here's the fat cat, fat little bastard.
It's so good.
So yeah, the things I like the most about obviously the exploration, just feeling like I'm in a world catching Pokemon, like just with the Xenoblade Chronicles X. I felt like I was on this alien planet trying to find pieces of our ship and exploring a new world, and it captures that same feeling for me. Doesn't look as good as Xenoblade Chronicles X as far as like the world design. I would say, like I was telling Clocked it before. I tweeted to Lil Craves, who's now playing his first Pokemon game, and I was like, yeah, it's simultaneously gorgeous and also terrible looking, like at the exact same time. It's very clean. Definitely, I would say 1080. I wouldn't even be like, if somebody is like Digital Foundry's like, actually this game runs at 1440p, I would believe it. It just is. It looks very sharp. Really? But then the textures in the game are at times super low quality, to the unacceptable. There's no excuse for this guy's outfit to look like it's 140p resolution. It's just so blurry.
I've noticed they have that with uniforms for like Sword and Shield. The same thing where you're just like,
it does.
Everything's so clean around it, and this emblem It's just
Yeah,
it's
they're
so
probably
like,
using
wait,
ones
why?
from the
Like,
Game Boy, and they're just fucking up-res, add some color to it.
No. This is it's just low.
it'd be new ass emblems.
It is low res as fuck though.
And there's
It'd be
parts
nice
of you're
emblems.
inside this building, and you're like, oh, that looks cool. But then you go look at the ceiling, and it's just like the same 4 like tiles over and over with no lighting. There's like no like lighting to it. It's just a weird mix of super clean, really nice, really good looking character models, and then just really bad textures throughout in different parts. Like super blurry, super low res. It looks like somebody spent a weekend constructing like the town basically, because you have like this row of like, I don't know, they're made out of wood, but they look like if you're at a camp, like a little suite, you know, at a campground, and they're all identical. All the interiors are identical. They're so basic that it feels like somebody put that town together in about a weekend.
That's something Pokemon has always had, though, where you basically have like 3 different house interiors and every house is the same.
Yeah, it's just like they could just take it to, just go to the next level with it, you know, just take another step further. Click that right button, the right stick down, so you get rid of.
Whoa! What the fuck? Pokemon? What's going on there?
That's Sneasel's evolution. That's Sneasel's new evolution.
Okay, that's great,
what
but
does it
you're
make me think of? What is this stupid Death Stranding? Get some Pokemon Stranding shit right there.
Wait a second. Wait. But how are you? Wait, where's the?
He's in the
human?
basket.
Yeah, I'm in the
That's
basket.
amazing.
That's
See
funny.
the eyes?
So you're literally just playing as the Pokemon right there.
Pretty much.
But the other ones you
That's
just get
super
through
cool.
like the story. You can't. It's not just a
And you
Pokemon
can
you have.
climb.
Yes, that's Sneasel's whole gimmick.
And is that a
It would-
Pokemon you can throw out to attack, or is he just somebody you can ride now?
No, this is someone you can ride, but you can't catch your own Sneasel.
Okay.
You can catch your own, but this one specifically.
That's amazing.
And then you
Yeah.
get this big burly motherfucker.
So you can ride other ones.
Yeah, but these are just once you get through the story. Like these aren't.
Yeah,
like,
but hey, at least there are other ones. Also, that thing looks absolutely amazing. What is it?
This is Ursaring's evolution.
Oh, really?
That's funny.
Yeah.
It is like Death Stranding though.
Oh, that's so good.
It's just crazy, man. It's like, I definitely get Breath of the Wild vibes, like no lie.
I like the snow.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really cool like visual effects.
I'm trying to get the third one, which allows you to fly. I haven't gotten him, so right now this is the newest one I've gotten, and it does let you climb pretty much anything.
That's
Also, this
awesome.
motherfucker will sometimes just walk up shit.
I think Falcon Black is right. This is Death Rising. Death Stranding shirt.
That's what I said earlier. Death
Yeah,
Stranding.
that's what
Also,
Stranding.
You
It's
do get
actually
frost.
acting here.
If you notice, you can see frost on the mon itself.
Yeah, I mean, there's some
That's
some really
cool.
good little details in this.
And if I
fucking
get
game.
off, I also
Oh,
have
look at
frost
that.
on.
Yeah. Also,
I mean-
the clothes.
I'm a sucker for customization, so my character I like my my current outfit.
And
And,
this fucker will climb anything, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm
the
fucking-
animations are good. It's like it's halfway there as far as like having like a really impressive
Oh, I
overall
forgot about this.
visual presentation going on. But
Oh,
it's
that
just-
goes automatic.
yeah, Switch is automatic.
Oh, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
if-
I like that.
You can't
wait,
you
so-
can't swim across a little river. You can't climb up the other side. That's one of those weird things. Like, why can't I just cross this river and get to the other side? Because it's just like you can see the shallow water in the bank, and it just won't let you. Just have to drown and
Yeah. Depending on like where you are, sometimes you can kind of recover from
yeah.
it.
Look at
but,
that.
like,
I mean, like I said, it goes so far in some directions, and then it's so behind in others. It's just a weird mixture of really
no, definitely.
really good level of polish, really good attention to detail, and then also like, oh shit,
Really
this game's
well.
got to be out in a couple months. Just call it good. You know, it definitely feels like that, and it
Yeah,
looks. I think it's one of the best looking, or cleanest looking Switch games I've seen on my OLED TV. I think Smash is the only one above it.
Oh shit! I didn't know he was here.
I hope Breath of the Wild 2 looks this clean, as far as just the sharpness and cleanness
Overall
of it. Yeah.
sharpness.
With better textures and stuff, obviously. That's
Oh
it.
god. Ah!
Damn.
So,
I
all
underestimated
right, Terrell,
this.
turn it off. You're spoiling
Hold on,
stuff.
you're asking a lot. All right, hold on,
Nice.
Put it to
hold on,
sleep.
hold on.
That is pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's
I gotta hide for a second.
it's a fucking surprisingly good game, great game at this point.
Do you think, Juice, it would be on your Well, it's too early, probably still. But like, would it have been on your top 5 of last year? It just came out January, so what if it made December?
What did I
You think it
have
would
at
have
my
made-
number 5?
I don't remember.
Your number 5 was.
Damn it. I don't even remember.
Also, there is fast travel.
What the hell was it?
And it's really quick. The loading times are quick. Like I said, it's
Yeah.
look how fast that was. Like they got a lot right.
Says, do you need it?
What was my?
Hey, look.
All right, Terrell, turn it off.
Hold on.
I don't want to see any more. I didn't want to see this much of this area.
Okay.
But damn, I'm trying to think.
I can't concentrate with.
Your other thing was
Terrell, just hit that home button.
Hold on.
Yo, this man is playing the whole thing.
I'm not gonna play the whole thing. Hold on a second.
You initiated a battle, yo. What you mean?
No, it's not gonna take nothing.
Nah, I mean, this early in, it's impossible to say, but I am enjoying it enough where.
Well, I like how that combat style is, where it's like you have like different moves, like in
and they actually attack. They actually physically
cool.
attack each other. So
that's cool.
I'll stop.
Why'd you close it? You could have just.
No, because I was in the middle of a dungeon and I teleported out of it.
That's right.
I want to start.
Yeah, I mean it is almost PS5 level load times, but you can get away with that with the low quality textures. I mean that's one of the reasons. And the pop in is ridiculous. I mean, just to be fair,
it is
even on foot. But when you get on the wide ear and you go super fast, yeah, it's like
the draw distance is a bitch. It's not even. It's almost a joke in some aspects.
But I would rather, honestly, I'd rather have that and have a pretty decent performance and super fast loading times. If that's the sacrifice, I don't know that they can.
There's plenty of Switch games that got quick loading that don't look as jank as Pokemon. You think like Mario Odyssey or Xenoblade.
They're not all perfect, damn it,
dude. If you go to Mario, I think
I don't think Odyssey's is even that fast, but that's loading up a brand new kingdom, going from one to the other.
It's not even loaded up a brand new kingdom. You can, if you want to like teleport to the other side of the map, when you flick your hat, it goes. It just pretty much comes straight back down on the other side. Then.
Yeah, staying in the same area, but the loading's just booting up the game and everything's that fast. Like, Odyssey has all those little little cinematics that kind of make the loading times
hide it
go by quicker.
Yeah,
this is
isn't it what was it, The Last of Us Part 2, where it's like the cutscenes were also loading like the next section or something. So like if you were to skip the cutscene, it was a load.
I skipped the cutscenes on my second playthrough and it just.
I remember there being like a solid loading time. Like it was like a decent little bit of a loading time.
It's not like the initial loading time.
Oh, the initial loading time.
I do want to hear Juice's opinions on Bloodborne. That is what I'm very curious about.
Bloodborne, I started that. I didn't talk about it last week, but I think I started it before last week's podcast. Yeah. And I'm at 7 or 8 hours, and I'm getting my ass kicked by the. I know he's probably not the second boss you can fight, but he's the second one I found naturally.
No, he's the second main boss. You're talking about.
Did you find the cleric beast?
No.
No, that's after. The cleric beast is after the blood-starved beast.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
The cleric beast is one of the first optional bosses before Gascoigne. You missed him.
I fought him after Gascoigne. I didn't fight him before.
That's because you went back to the bridge and.
So one of the most, probably the best thing about Bloodborne, for me playing it, is how there's no map, and I don't miss there being no map. It's not like the most windy like paths where you're gonna get lost. There are times like shit. I turn left, now I turn right. Like if I die, I'm just gonna be a pain in the ass to get back here. It really isn't. The areas aren't that big. But then when you find, there's a ladder, let me climb this ladder. Oh, that unlocked that gate that I fucking was locked before. Now I can easily go past all these other dudes that go straight to the boss. Like it's just so not seamless, but it just happens so naturally.
I think it helps that there's literally no repetition in terms of area when you're playing through that game. When you're just running through the streets of Yarnum, all the streets are very unique around every single corner. So you recognize where you've been every single time. It happens
very organically, finding like shortcuts. Well, I was playing last time I was playing. I literally killed everything I could kill before going back to what is it, the blood starved beast?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I killed everything that I could kill. I even killed the 2 freaking other hunters, and glad they didn't come back. One actually fell. He was so aggressive he fell off the tower where the machine gun was.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're lucky because you're not even meant to fight him then.
Yeah, that motherfucker is a pain in the
But
ass.
he died. He fell off and died after I did a few hits. And then the guy down below I killed, took most of my blood vials, but I beat him. And they don't come back, so I was like, awesome. And so on like maybe 5 or 6 times after that, I just literally killed everything. I had like 21,000 blood echoes, and I was like, well, let me go boost my stats. And then I boosted everything I could. I've been getting a lot of these gem shards or something, but it only upgrades my pistol now. So
yeah,
I got to find a different thing to upgrade my axe more.
Yeah.
It's just like I never feel lost. I never feel overwhelmed with, damn, where do I go next? It's just really well designed, somewhat linear, somewhat open. Exploration's incredible for me, like to find that stuff without. I've not even looked up one thing. I was looking at my phone. I was like, should I look up to see how to beat this Bloodstar beast? Nah, I'm just gonna keep playing. I asked you guys, or I mentioned that he was kicking my ass. You guys gave me some pointers, but I haven't felt compelled to look up anything, try to figure out like what's coming next, or if there's any other, the lanterns or whatever they're called, the little save points you can warp to, whatever those are called, the little blue lanterns. And I'm in Old Yarnum, and there isn't another one.
They're just lamps in the game.
Lamps, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't found another one in between the one that you in the very beginning of Old Yarnum to the boss. And I was like, well, the last one had a midway point. The first area had a midway point where I found a lamp. But I was like, hey, I can get there quick enough. Then I was literally like, all right, I'm just gonna go back to whatever the house, wherever your house, whatever that area is called. Level up. I noticed this little critter ran past me and then went off the ledge. I was like, what the hell? And I went and looked, and there's a place to drop to. And I dropped down there, and there's some blood vials, and I was like, well, I can drop down to this roof of like a church. I was like, fuck, am I stuck? Was I not supposed to come here? And then I go, yeah, that looks like my death, but it's the only option. There's like a little broke down wall. I walk off that, I land, and then another one, and then I'm down at the bottom, and then I'm like right near not near where the boss is, but skip about 70% of getting to the boss.
So you go down the spiral stairs and for the gate.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, like that's nice to know. And I found that completely organically because it had a little critter walk off the ledge, and I'm like, oh, so once I get my blood vials up to max, I can just shortcut. I don't have to run past all these freaking werewolves and potentially get hit. I'm just gonna bypass all that, fight a couple of the bigger wolf-looking things, and get to the boss. So it's really well designed how they did that. I gotta commend them. And I'm enjoying the combat and stuff. Like I'm so used to games now having the shoulder and trigger button be light and hard and heavy attack. Like Immortals has that. God of War has that. So it's like I don't know when that became a thing, but I'm so used to it now.
That, this is why I was slightly worried when I suggested the game for you, because I don't know if it was you or Retro, who are a bit against or a bit skeptical of the soul style combats and stuff. But Bloodborne is a different game from the Dark Souls series and the other Souls series in terms of its combat is very aggressive. The visceral attack and the way you have to get your health back by being aggressive is vastly different to the Souls games. There's no shields. There's a shield in the game, but it's fucking useless in Bloodborne.
Yeah.
It's all about attacking. And if you spend the time to try and master your visceral attack by using your gun to counter, then you'll expand that combat even more. And especially with a Blood-starved beast, when you start reading its attacks, you see a reach go.
See, I've stunned enemies, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to get that high damage afterwards.
You attack right after you do it.
You stab him in the face.
Which attack? Heavy or
You
light?
just hit it. No, you just hit an attack button. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
it's
what-
attack.
Does it do anything special? Because it didn't look any
Oh,
different.
Yeah.
it does a fuck ton of damage.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
it does visually look different.
I snuck up on somebody and did this like murder execution style attack, and I've only did that once.
Yeah, so that's when you can sneak up. That's when you go behind someone, do a strong attack, and then it hits them, and then they stun, and then you can get a visceral attack,
Yeah.
which is you get like a little cutscene moment, and you
But
take tons of damage off them. But yeah,
I
mastered
mean-
that as well.
I couldn't pull it off on the boss so far. So we'll see. I don't feel like I want to quit or anything like that. I'm motivated. I don't want to play it like every single day. It's not one of those type of games.
It took me months to complete because it's a dark, depressing
yeah.
ass game.
It's
You
nice
gotta
to
take
go.
breaks from it.
Yeah,
Some
it's nice to
aspects.
switch back between Pokemon and Bloodborne. To be honest.
Light and darkness.
Yeah. So I feel like I did talk about it a little bit last week.
You did talk about it a little bit. but
'cause
you
I was
didn't go into
saying, I
much
mean,
detail.
I like the art style, but visually it's like one of the early PS4 games, so it's I don't know what it is. I thought it was like I don't know, it's something about the motion that makes me a little nauseous. Something about the way the camera turns.
It's the frame rate of the game.
Yeah, because it's only 30
it's-
frames.
Yeah, it's 30 and I think
it doesn't hold 30.
I think it has what's called frame pacing
No, it
issues
does
because
not.
I just feel a bit nauseous and my eyes get strained from
Yep,
playing.
I felt exactly the same way, but it's 100% the frame rate of the game, and it jutters, but in a way that does fuck with your eyes. And it was one of my original complaints about the game. I was just like, the frame rate of this game is just. I don't normally complain about frame rates, but because this one constantly seems to jutter, I don't know what it's doing. It's like between 26 and 30 and stuff, but it's a constant thing that it just messes you up. So
I'd be
it's
curious
100%.
if anybody has any, because I'm playing on PS5. You would think it would iron out and be
No,
back
there's-
30.
there's no boost mode for the game.
There was no patch.
No,
whatsoever
but just
for it.
in the nature of the PS5 backwards compatibility, if a game's dropping, it should be locked no matter what, even if they
Locked
did nothing.
30.
Because one of the games they said took the best advantage was an early PS4 Xbox One game that ran with an uncapped frame rate, and it never had a patch or anything. And it was Assassin's Creed Unity. You have to play the unpatched version, and so basically it's running at PS4 native, regular PS4 version, and it runs at a lock 60. And it's like, but if as soon as you update it, then it runs at 30 because they patched it to be peaked or capped. So I would think technically the frame rate might be hitting 30, but the frame pacing isn't. That's built into the game engine, so that needs to be fixed with code, working on the code. So I think, and just the way the camera's fighting me constantly, I feel like it wants to follow me in a way where I can, but it doesn't turn fast enough or properly for me to see where I'm going, so I have to constantly adjust the camera myself, and I'm like fighting the actual default cameras follow whatever, and I feel like I'm fighting that a lot. I just realized there's a lock on to
So you do know there's a lock on. As
yeah,
well.
but I'm just talking about moving
Yeah.
around the environment, like turning a corner. It doesn't follow me quite like I need it to, so I have to manually do it, but then it feels like I'm fighting against it. So, but overall, I mean, I'm really enjoying it, and I got to check when my PlayStation Plus renewal is coming, because I'll probably just download buy the digital version, whatever discount I can get, and
Is
then
that coming up for you?
yeah, because I got it for Final Fantasy, so in March, before March ended, I had PlayStation Plus.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's a good game though. Looking forward to playing more, and eventually
Good.
checking out Elden Ring. Probably won't get that at launch, but
When does that come out again?
This month.
soon.
That's like 2028.
It went gold like a week ago, so it's done. I mean, they're
Okay,
done.
gotcha.
Yeah, but remember, it was Cyberpunk went gold, and then they delayed it.
Yeah, well.
Remember that?
They delayed it. Jesus.
It went gold, and they're like, by the way, we're gonna delay it. Wait, hold on a second.
I guess it's possible. I don't see them doing that.
Honestly, I just don't think gold means
Game
much as
Informer
much as
has like a bunch of exclusive clips and gameplay of it,
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a pretty polished game already.
No. I mean, like, yeah, no. I mean, I can't imagine From Software putting out a game.
The interesting thing is, apparently, the PS4 version running in backwards compatible mode runs at a lock 60. The native PS5 version is like dips into the 40s and stuff. So it's like, man, do you want that? Do you want that just sharper image, or would you rather just have the lock solid frame rate? So that's like the first time that's.
And not only
Yeah,
that, but also, do you want the box to say PS4?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I personally like having, it's the PS5, man. I like having the.
I would prefer to have a box that says PS5.
Me too.
But I guess we'll transition into that, because the PlayStation Store on the phone app.
Yeah.
If you buy Horizon Forbidden West, it shows that it includes the PS4 and PS5 version for $59.99.
Really?
Which they said you had to buy the digital deluxe to get one or get them both. So it's either they messed up or somebody was just wrong. And then you go to the PS5 itself, and it only has the $70 PS5 version. Digital. I'm not talking about digital only, not like physical. So it's like, I think that happened with Ghost of Tsushima as well. It's like, why? Like, if I'm on the PS5 store and I'm dumb enough to pay the $70, you can't even give me the PS4 version in case I have a PS4 Pro hooked up in another room, or like a kid, so they can play the game without having to buy two versions. Like, it's just so stupid. I don't understand why they're so bad at this one aspect of, like I said, Kana did it right. You buy it and you fucking get the PS4 and PS5 version, like, for one price.
Can you on the PS5 store pick up Uncharted 4 by itself now, or no?
Shit.
I have to check.
I don't know.
I have a feeling it probably.
I don't have my phone with me, so I can't check. But
let me check.
I mean, I'm surprised that
Uncharted 3, right?
4.
Uncharted 4. Okay.
That collection's $50. I thought for sure they were gonna try to get 70. So
yeah, me too.
At the very least, it's at least 50. And there's no
it's a strange one, isn't it? Do you feel that they should give you the PS4 version? Is that what you feel?
Yeah, they do. If you buy it on the PlayStation app, you get the PS4 version.
Yeah, no, it's a strange thing, because if we sorry, Rob, if we for example, like, look at like Blu-rays as an example, you buy the physical Blu-ray and then they give you the digital version of that,
and the DVD in a lot of cases.
In a DVD. So when we come to games, we seem to want another console's version instead of having perhaps a digital version of that physical game and stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting.
We'll want two versions, essentially, for two different platforms, even though these ecosystems can be backwards compatible and stuff like that.
Well, I think the reason we're asking for is because so many third parties
it's not bundled together, by the way,
have done that.
Well, my big thing is that they have these games listed on there, and you were able to buy them on there, and then they removed it afterwards. The ability.
Oh, you're talking about the separate games? Is that what you're talking about?
No. Well, I'm talking about like the Ghost of Tsushima. Like, if you go on your PS5 store on your PS5, you cannot buy the other price of Ghost. Now you got to get this whole Ghost of Tsushima PS5 director's cut. And then same thing with what's happening right now with what was before we were just talking about the other, not Uncharted 4, the other one,
Horizon.
Horizon, yeah. So now and then now you gotta get the $70 PS5, even though
you don't have to.
Even though the PS, but digitally.
No, you go on the PlayStation app. You can get the PS4 and PS5 version.
But that's what I'm saying though. If you go on your PS5 itself and go to download a game on there, it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? And
also, just
there's a reason they did that,
For Uncharted, it's only the bundle with Lost Legacy.
So, but if you get that, it says PS4. So what happens when you say that?
It only says PS4. And then if you go to there's another edition, but it's the Legacy of Thieves collection, which then turns into $50. Which is only for PS5.
So yeah, if you had Uncharted 4 and you're like, oh, I want to play Lost Legacy, you can't get it digitally. But again, just get on fucking eBay. You're gonna probably get it for $10 physically.
But
And
you
as,
say that,
and
you
even,
say
it even
that,
says on there.
you say that, Juice, but
PS5 only.
we're in the age where they both consoles sell a digital only version. You know, there's millions of people that have a digital only PS5 and they cannot buy Lost Legacy by themselves. Now they removed it. Now you can only buy
that's
Uncharted 4
stupid.
and Lost Legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like, what the fuck? It's so stupid.
Oh, I see.
That's
If
just
you-
ridiculous.
Because those games
So-
probably were 20. I'm thinking were $20 each.
So I just,
And
by
they
the way, I
threw
just
them together, which is stupid, you know, for somebody who maybe somebody forgot that Lost Legacy was even a thing. You know, they had
I looked
Uncharted
it up.
4.
I looked at the bottom. It's essentially you get to pay a $10 upgrade fee. So if you bought the
I didn't know that
PS4
was even coming to PS4. It said PS5 and PC.
Well, no,
The
if-
Legacy Collection.
Yeah, the Legacy Collection's only.
well, no. Well,
Legacy of Thieves, that's only on PS5.
Yeah,
but if
the
you
other
buy-
ones just basically took the two PS4
it's a
games
two
and
they
bundled
bring
them
it
together.
Yeah.
But if you buy the PS4 games, but you then get a PS5 later, you spend $10 and it'll automatically upgrade it to the Legacy of Thieves collection.
So
That's
I
what
need
was
to look into that because I have both games, and if not, they didn't do enough, but if they had done more, then I'd be like, yeah, you know, $10, maybe someday it'll be $5. Maybe I would pay that to upgrade my copies. But
Yeah.
you know, they didn't do enough. Digital Foundry pointed out like minimal draw distance improvement and runs at a slightly higher resolution than the PS4 Pro. Like it's basically the PS4 Pro version with slightly better draw distance running at 60. That's all it is. And it's just unacceptable that they didn't do more. If it's not gonna be a free update, they should have done more. What they did should have been a free update. That's
That's why it frustrates me because you know, we could always say, oh, we could buy them physically somewhere else, but you know, pretty soon we're not gonna be able to do that. And there's already millions of people out there that are not even given the choice, you know, and now you have to buy these bigger prices for no reason, man. Like, oh, I don't want to play Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. I want to play Ghost of Tsushima.
You don't want to play Ghost of
to
Tsushima at all. That's
No, you know what I'm saying. Like let's say that's the case. And how much is the Director's Cut on PS5?
it might have been 70.
Is it 70?
That's if you've never played the game. If you never played the game, then it was $10 more than it was before for the PS5 version. The PS4 version was the same price, 60.
So okay. So essentially that's what I'm saying. So PS5 digital owners have to buy $70 for Ghost of Tsushima.
What the hell is Ghost of Tsushima Legends? What is that?
That's a multiplayer thing.
Yeah, it was free.
Okay.
A free multiplayer.
Okay.
That one's a little different for me because it's just one game, and they just replaced the standard version with the direct, which it gives you basically a whole expansion for the same price what they were charging for the original game. So
but they had the option. They removed it. It's like if they removed.
But why would you pay? Why would you buy the regular one with less content for $60?
Because I don't want to play the damn director's cut. I want to play the fucking just the base game. And
No,
you had it.
I
But it's for the same price though.
I looked at
No, but it wasn't for the same price. It would be 60 versus 70.
I looked it up. It's kind of confusing the way they phrase it. So if you select Ghost of Tsushima's Director's Cut, there's like 3 or 4 variants of this bitch.
Again, I mean, you're speaking as somebody who's not smart enough to use the PlayStation app. I get it. That's the way they're presenting it. They're going to take advantage of people who don't know any better. Just go on the app and buy the PS4 version. There you go.
I agree,
Done.
but
Yeah, the PS4. Okay, so the PS4 version currently is $40.19.
See, it's already. I mean, you wouldn't actually go out of your way to buy the original version without the expansion. It's the same game but with an expansion. You wouldn't.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, to me, like, for me, like, there's not a lot of games that if there's like a definitive edition or something, like even when it's like if it I might not go out to purchase that. I might just buy the original one, to be honest, for me.
Yeah, but
why is it called the director's cut then? If it's just the same game, but then it's got a separate expansion with it. That's not a director's cut.
It includes
they
expansion,
tweaked.
there's
Well, I don't know.
a
They call it
co-op
director's
mode.
They
cut,
added
like a
some-
movie.
A director's
Because it
cut
sells.
normally includes additional story
And the
that
fact that
wasn't
you-
presented in the main game before. So the main game from the original to the
Yeah.
director's cut are slightly different. A bit like, you know, whether you buy Resident Evil or Resident Evil director's cut, or whether you buy Metal Gear
They didn't
Solid
change
or Metal Gear
anything
Solid Twin
story-wise.
Snakes.
They didn't
The
change
fact
anything.
that you
No,
story-wise.
it's
think
it's
that
the
is
same base
why
game.
they do it.
But yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have a whole podcast about how stupid it is to name director's cut for.
Director's
It's
cut.
basically like the Game of the Year edition. If you think of it that way, I think it makes more. It's
Okay,
more
but-
fitting.
Yeah, the Game of the Year edition. Yeah,
But
yeah.
either way,
that was only going to be my argument because of its co-director's cut. I was figuring that from Rob's point of view, it's not the same game as the original.
No.
It's slightly
well,
different.
if you want to
No,
if you want to
it's
be
the same
honest, every gameplay tweak they added with a mandatory update to the base game. I have all the stuff you get other than the quick loading times from the director's cut now via an update. So the lock-on feature and all the little improvements were already added for free for me, just not the visual and loading time improvements. And
so when I'm looking at the PS app, when I get to the store page and I look at the director's cut, it's like it says to play this game on PS5, your system needs to be updated to the latest software. Although this game is playable on PS5, some features available on PS4 may be absent. So is there certain features that the PS4 version has that the
not
PS5
that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I don't really know. About
I don't know why
Director's cut. Ooh.
I just don't know why they put it as a thing.
Maybe
Right
it's
here.
related to the online aspect.
Yeah, I think you're looking at Legends or.
No, I'm looking at that's the director's cut, and then if you scroll down,
I'm not sure.
right under it, it goes. There are some features. I don't know. It may not be showing up as clearly.
I wonder if that says that in other games, if that's like a generic thing, or because as far as I know, they updated the base game to have the new lock-on and a couple of the other little tweaks they made. And
What if says that in the small text of Captain Toad on the Switch? Ooh.
You bitch.
But either way, I personally, with a digital storefront, I don't. The fact that the game they replaced with, you still can play the base game. You don't have to do the extra content or anything. You can still play the base game. It's not like such a drastic different version like Clocked It was thinking. Like it's like completely different. There's areas where they change like story elements. No, they just, you're just getting quicker loading times on PS5 if you get the native PS5 version. You get the new expansion. And
I just wish there was a $60 version there that just had the base game, and then you have and then if you want to get the bundle, boom, that's your director's cut. And also the other thing is just like it's like if they removed every year they removed the Call of Duties and then they only had Call of Duty plus the map packs and you had to purchase.
Well, just think of it this way.
You remove the
So
Smash
you
Ultimate.
just kind of want that trail of progression where you had this base. It's like now if for example you wanted to get Street Fighter 4, because I haven't got 5. So you wanted Street Fighter 4 and then the only one on sale was Ultra Street Fighter 4, Ultra Super Street Fighter 4, whereas the original was just Street Fighter 4. Are you telling me that instead of getting Ultra Street Fighter 4, where it's got all the additional characters and all that additional stuff, you would still initially want the option just to have Street Fighter 4?
I'm assuming because to be fair, I've only played Ultra Street Fighter 4, but that's
See what it is.
What I'm saying is, imagine if you had Smash Ultimate, right? Now tomorrow Nintendo they remove Smash Ultimate from the eShop, and then they put a $70 bundle of Smash Ultimate plus the DLC characters, and that's all they offered. Be like,
that'd be a hell of a
what
deal.
happened? It would be a hell of a deal, but let's say it was,
why don't we live in a?
You remove the $60 option for just because what if you're like, I don't want the.
Why don't
fucking
we live in a
Let me just
world
play Smash Ultimate.
where Robert?
You just want a cheaper option for the base game.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the
Because some
thing.
motherfuckers don't want to
And
spend
then the
$70.
add-ons. That's why
this
considered add-ons.
That's why I'm having such trouble accepting this because he just said it's already $40 the director's cut on PS4. So it's like you don't have to pay more. You're paying more for the old version probably if you try to buy it physical. It's probably, I'm guessing the price has gone up.
Again,
But there is no.
I want the option on my console when I turn it on. I don't
So
want to go to my
Rob.
phone to get the PS app.
For the PS5, there was no base version of.
No,
Ghost
they
of Tsushima.
removed it. They removed it. Now that's like it was there, and then they removed
that's
it,
just,
and now you can only buy the direct.
No, wasn't that just the upgrade? They didn't actually make.
Yeah, but
Ghost
there
of
wasn't.
Tsushima.
There's no PS5 version of the base PS.
There was no
Ghost of
PS5 version of
Tsushima.
the base game. They only released the upgrade for it, and then the
Yeah.
director's
No, but
cut.
you were
Right?
able to download Ghost of Tsushima, purchase it on the PS5. On the PS5 store, you turn your PS5 on, you could purchase
Yeah,
Ghost of Tsushima.
I mean, you'd have to.
And now
Right, so
remove that ability.
you're downloading the PS4 version to play on your PS5,
Yes.
but now you can't.
Now you
The
don't even have
PS4
that option.
version
They
is
just
not on the
removed
Yeah,
it.
PS5
I talked
store.
about this before already because
They now removed it, and now the only option is Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, which is more expensive than the base
Good
game.
Right, I
God.
get you. Okay.
but if you
Roman
had
is thinking of the 10-year-old who's mowing the lawn all summer to get exactly like $60 for that game, but he has a PS5
Yeah.
at
yeah,
his
but
home,
I
so he
already
doesn't
gave the
get
example
paid
why
that
Yes,
that
extra
bro.
bucks.
Bro, come on, man.
I think I know why they do that.
Anyone getting taken advantage. I don't want anyone getting taken advantage. and
Here's
that man
what
taking
my
advantage.
theory is. All right, you buy a PS5. Let's say you're not the most apt at like doing research and stuff. You see Ghost of Tsushima on there. Oh, I can get it for $60. You download it, and then you realize, oh shit, this is the PS4 version. I wanted the PS5 version. I can see why in their minds they would just want to not have the PS4 version of the same game on there, because somebody's going to be dumb enough to buy it and not realize it's the PS4 version and like shit. I wanted the PS5 version. So only because of that, I can understand why they would get rid of a PS4 version as soon as a PS5 version becomes available. Like with Last of Us Part 2, if they released like a native PS5 version, I could understand them not having the PS4 version available to buy on the PS5, just because you have a PS5, you would just to avoid confusion, because they don't have that what Microsoft has. They fucked up.
Well, yeah.
They don't have the smart delivery.
Yeah.
There are companies who are utilizing the equivalent of smart delivery, like Kana, Bridge of Spirits did. Horizon, if you use the app, you basically get the PS4 and PS5 version of Horizon
Metro
Forbidden
Exodus,
West.
right? I think Metro Exodus does that.
Metro Exodus was just a free update. But I think you have to re-download like the PS5 version.
I have to re-download.
So I can see that because they didn't plan well enough to have like a smart delivery system. So I can see why they would remove a PS4 version as soon as the PS5 version came out. Let's just hope they stop making PS5 ports of PS4 games, because there's no fucking reason for it anyway, because it's backwards compatible. So let's hope that these are the last ones. And if they're gonna do it, at least give it a bundle and have it not be full price, I guess.
I know we're talking about small minorities here, but at the end of the day, it's up to them to be able to on their own storefronts, to tell you exactly what you're buying. And I'm sure there's simple, effective ways to demonstrate that this is a PlayStation 4 version of the game that's slightly enhanced for your PS5, instead of saying that this is a PS5 game. And at the end of the day, it's not just Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, you're always buying old games on your console anyway. It's this. I think we need to give people a bit more credit, but certainly at the end of the day, it's their storefront. They should be able to clearly state what it is. And if anyone gets confused, that's their own stupid.
I've worked in customer service, so I know how stupid people can be,
Yeah, but that's their own stupid fault. As long as it's
I mean, it's just consumers are stupid. I mean, I've heard the dumbest stories and just had to say, yep, you're right. And then as soon as they walk out, like, my God, I had to lie to that guy. He was so wrong, but I couldn't tell him that, So I've heard so many I've just firsthand examples of people being so wrong as consumers, and it's so I can understand wanting to avoid it. But either way, let's move on. But
one thing I will say is, like, they could even just have on that, director's cut on the page, they could say, check your PS app for more options. You know what I'm saying? Like anything, because at least you could get more options for different things. But
I mean, if they had that right, then
I'm trying to save the gamer money.
If they had that right, then they would have had the smart.
Protect the gamer.
They would have had a smart delivery system if they were going to get that aspect right. I think they just missed the ball, and it's unfortunate because I really want to play Horizon Forbidden West. Everything I see about it, it looks better and better. The gameplay changes to the melee and stuff. I'm like, man, I really want it, but I ain't paying $70 to have a box that has a PS5 logo. And so I might cave and just get the PS4 version and do the download PS5. But
also, real quick, this is a quick thing just to mention. Speaking of normal consumers being stupid, sales have come in for the GTA remastered trilogy. It has significantly exceeded expectations with up to 10 million copies sold.
Jesus Christ!
Damn, I didn't think it was 10 million.
That's why they knew. That's why they didn't put that effort in. They knew it would sell either way.
God, that bummed me the fuck out.
I didn't know it was 10 million.
That's worse than 1-2 Switch.
That just came out.
Selling 10 million. I'd rather have 1-2 Switch sell 10 million than fucking that trash junk collection.
Damn, 10 million.
Speaking of sales, did you?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about the sales. We can talk about the Switch.
I had it up
still in the middle.
There was one important sale to.
I would say.
You talking about Metroid?
No, I'm talking about the Nintendo dominance in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that's a long discussion.
Also, real quick, just to throw out, since there is one sale I want to mention. We now know what the best-selling video game in Japan is ever. It has been topped. It used to be the original Mario Brothers. It is now Animal Crossing: New Horizons.
Really?
That is now.
Let's go.
That's catching up, man. It's catching up. To Mario Kart.
And just to give a comparison, the original Mario Brothers in Japan sold like almost 7 million.
That's it.
Yeah, in just Japan.
That was 30 years ago, 35 years ago. So there's way.
There is no game. There is no game.
In 35 years that sold 7 million copies.
Until Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing currently has 10 million in.
10 million. That's a big jump.
Well, it's up to 38.
Just in Japan.
Yeah, but you would think something else would hit 7 million.
You would think.
Apparently not. Apparently, fucking Animal Crossing was the time. He was like, "I'm knocking you off the throne, King. It's over. Your crown is mine." And Isabel put it on and said, "I am the god now."
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah, that's just something of note. There's a couple other.
I just realized that we're in Animal Crossing.
Maybe someday they'll make a
Breath
of the Wild Xenoblade type Animal Crossing game, and I'll buy it.
I do wonder if I've never actually researched this or looked into it, where the game sales in Japan actually sell, whether it's actually in maybe 2 or 3 dominant cities or something.
I would figure it's in a couple of dominant cities.
Yeah.
You know, it's when we say Japan, we think all over, but there's a lot of rural Japan, you know, stuff.
True.
I would imagine it's like the main areas like Tokyo and Shibuya and.
Yeah, so when you start thinking those numbers, that would make more sense then. You know, just a few million people in. You know,
yeah.
So
I'd say
Crossing
even a few million people in each city is still a lot. Like, you know, you start thinking about that. 1 million people bought it in Tokyo. You still think 1 million people. That's you know, I very much doubt there's 1 million people in Tokyo itself. So it must be more widespread. It's got to be.
So you got like 10 million in Japan now, and Animal Crossing's still going crazy. So let me ask you to this. I'm saying YouTube because Terrell doesn't play art. Do you think
Get a dick.
we're gonna get? Do you think we're gonna get another paid DLC at some point
No,
What?
it's done.
for Animal Crossing? You think we might get another paid DLC thing?
It's done, man.
I think it's done.
If you both think it's
We're
done.
moving on to with
all this, the fact knowing that we probably won't see another Animal Crossing in a really long ass time, knowing that all the money they can get out of this.
No, wait,
because they
wait.
probably made.
Wait, sorry, Retro. What we're talking about, I think it's done. They said so in their own words. This was the last bit of free
update,
content
they said.
we would get. So now from now on, there'll be paid content.
That's what I'm saying.
Also, you
We've had
think,
one.
Yeah, but to be fair, that was also said before they announced the paid DLC. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they
they said
didn't
this is
say
the
that the
last free
paid DLC
content.
was the
And then
was
you
the
got like
last paid
the
one.
paid DLC thing afterwards.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they're also gonna say is the last free DLC, and then after Happy Home Paradise, this is the last paid DLC. You know, I just think this is the last free DLC just to kind of, you know, okay, there's gonna be paid DLC. Yes, in 10 minutes from now, check this out. You know, and so I don't know, man. Like I think
This is the only one they've also the only thing they've added to.
But it's big
Switch on
too.
Switch Online as well.
It's just big, you know.
So
I'm not saying like I need it or I want it, you know. I'm just saying with the amount of sales, like you said, it's not the biggest selling game in Japan for like 40 years now at this point, you know. And like with all the sales it's still gathering, it's like literally, let's say they could have like packs. You know, let's say they make a lot of people, you know, I ask for that stuff, for example, you know, like, oh, give me like all villagers or like bug villages. They could, for example, have like 10 new bug villages that are new, and you pay like $5 for the pack to get them in your rotation or something.
So
But
I don't
but
want any Smash Brother villagers, right? It's just not for paid
not only that,
content.
not only that, but
Damn.
like you're paying $5 for the lottery, so you can maybe get them on your island, so you can maybe put them on your island.
That sounds like a gotcha system to me.
It is a gotcha system for that, and that would be
Horrendous.
paid gotcha. So I don't know that doesn't make sense to me.
Also, since Juice is in here, I do want to quickly go over some other.
Items wise, they can do that.
Let's go over some of
All I
the
wanted to
sales
say
things.
about
I wanna go over-
the sales wise is that Nintendo's dominance in Japan. I think I saw the top 20 games in the chart are pretty much all Nintendo
Yeah,
Switch games.
they are.
As sales wise, the
Nintendo.
Switch
Crazy.
is stomping over absolutely everything.
Yeah,
But it's scary because there's no one else there in Japan apart from Nintendo.
that's because PlayStation has given up that side of the market.
Well,
I think
plus there wasn't that many
Yeah,
PS5.
yeah, to be
I don't know how much. I think it sold like 1 million last year. I don't know.
Yeah, so to be objective about it, Sony very much. I think I probably say in the last few years has kind of I won't say walked away from Japan, but very much doesn't overly value it anymore, because they also know that the majority of the money doesn't come from Japan. The majority of it comes from like the U.S. and like Europe.
Yeah, you
and
really
shit.
gotta they'd have to have a successful handheld, I think, to even consider competing with Nintendo anymore in
Yeah,
Japan.
so I think I think really Sony's just fine with, look, we make so much in Europe and fucking the US, we'll let Nintendo have Japan. And that's really what it is. Nintendo just has Japan now.
They're not letting Nintendo have Japan. Nintendo
Nintendo
stomped them out of Japan.
The
Let's
I don't-
PS4 did pretty
I-
well, though. I think the PS4 outsold the PS3 or PS2, or maybe not the PS2, maybe the PS1. PS4 did pretty well in Japan, so I'm surprised.
The PS4 did well. I think they just don't. I think it was during that era where they were kind of like, we don't really care that much. I mean, I'm not saying that Nintendo didn't earn the sales it got. What I'm saying is that like Sony also didn't try to like regain that market.
That's for sure.
So-
I feel it started like a few years ago when we got
No,
that
it is.
shift. You got that censorship shift, Then that's when things started to be like, wait a minute, this is kind of weird.
Well, that didn't
Well, I
help,
was-
but I would say I think the biggest issue is that their game design went towards more of a Western audience. They don't design games for the Japanese really anymore. It's very much like Western style
Well,
game
I say
design.
Nintendo doesn't.
That stopped at the end of the PS2. That stopped at the end of this PS2. I think that the not trying part is Sony just not being a great first-party studio for the world overall.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is Nintendo's not making specific Japanese games. They're making games that appeal to everybody. Like, other than like Tamagotchi Life and a few oddballs, Nintendo games just appeal to everybody.
That appeals
It's
to everybody.
Tamagotchi
Tamagotchi
Life is
Life
for
is
everybody.
so-
But that's a
Oh,
very
God.
Nintendo game for sure. A very Japanese game. I mean. So their games just have such mass appeal, just like the age group. Nintendo games can be enjoyed by any age group and
Yeah.
anywhere in the world. People,
And no one else could touch that.
Yeah.
They stuck with that. It's a win-win situation when you have a catalog of IPs that can appeal to the vast majority of of gamers. Is what the other guys don't have. Is why they've always struggled, and it's why they try and buy up bloody everyone just to think. But now they're just like, right, we know what works for us. That's what we're gonna stick with.
You
But,
know
I think-
Nintendo can do anything they want if they can sell Pokemon to Jews.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's
greatness.
crazy.
Also, side note, I know we didn't even bring up the sales like that, but there's one thing that still fucking pained me. Does anyone remember what Super Mario Party was at originally? The last
like
time
10 to
Bruh.
12.
Yes,
it's not where it's at. It's at 17, bro.
Jesus. I guess I do
It-
want to
it's-
know.
It must
The
have
new,
had a
the
boost
new
up in
one,
sales.
Superstars?
No,
Superstars?
the first one.
No,
No.
fuck off. The first one.
The first
I
one
do
that-
want to know
Those
where Breath of the
Superstars
Wild.
have, you know?
Did Breath of the Wild have any significant increase?
Where was it what was the last number?
Like
you remember?
20.
It's at 25.
20 something.
25? Dang. What about Smash?
I know Odyssey
Yeah,
like,
it's at
boosted up a little
27.
bit. Isn't Odyssey at like 25 or something?
No, I see at 23.
Okay.
Wow, Breath
then-
25 million for
It's
Zelda.
almost at 26. To be
Crazy,
fair,
right?
It's almost at
Crazy.
26. It's like 25.8 to be fair.
That makes me happy. I don't care about the sales for the Switch anymore, but that Breath of the Wild selling that many definitely makes me happy.
The only
Hey,
other
Odyssey, man, 20.
there's only a couple of small things I thought was interesting. That Big Brain Academy sold over 1 million. Fucking Miitopia is at 1.6. Game Builder Garage finally hit 1 million. Apparently.
Do you feel like Metroid
Everything at the mill.
Metroid selling 2.7? Do you feel like that's insane sales, or do you feel like that's pretty much on track for what you were expecting?
Yeah, it's pretty close to what I was expecting.
I think it's pretty close.
I think
I
we
think,
guessed at one point, but I don't know.
I think
where.
I said like 3. I think 3 million is what I said it would.
I think
go
I said
to.
some stupid high number.
Yeah, I think he said like 5.
What
or
a
something.
year!
5 eventually. I think it will hit 5.
Yeah, I
Guys,
think-
remember,
like
this is only from what, October to.
I feel like I asked like,
February,
by
right?
the end of the year.
It's only been a few months, I reckon.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find the paper where I wrote down our guesses.
While you do that, also Bowser's Fury's at 8.85.
Nice.
Luigi's Mansion's at 11. Apparently that's
Hells
jumped
yeah,
up.
dude.
I guess that's
That's
jumped
good.
up.
What about
Ring-
Ring Fit? Ring Fit said something
13.
like
13.
13. Everyone's getting jacked.
Oh, here we go. I found
I
it.
think Ring Fit kicked out another game from the list. Wasn't it something like that?
Splatoon or something. I think something.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't. Yeah, actually,
I
yeah,
found
don't
the
see-
I found our
what's going on
predictions.
Go ahead.
So the sales to December 31st. T said 3.5. Terrell said 3. Rob said 3.6. Retro
Oh,
and
okay.
Clocked It must not have been here. I said 2.5. So I gotta take the W on that.
To be fair, I only lost that by like 10,000. I only had shit.
Hey, I didn't
Yeah,
go over.
yeah.
So it was closest thought going over.
Oh, was that what it was? Oh, I thought it was
That's
just
the Price is Right
closest.
rules.
Oh, we're not. There was no prize anyway. Fuck.
No, I think it should just be whoever's closest. You know. To be fair.
So
I think as a genre, I think is where it realistically is going to be, but we'll push that bit more because of
Yeah.
the Switch hype and because of Metroid. But as a genre, just historically, this is where the best of these genres, these best of these games in these genres have sat either below. I mean, Hollow Knight I think has probably been one of the best. 3 million I think for Hollow Knight, maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
3 million for Hollow Knight I think.
Last time I checked.
Yeah.
What about like Symphony of the
Bitch,
Night?
by the way, speaking of Hollow Knight, sorry, I gotta mention that quickly. When you posted that trailer on Twitter and you tagged me in it, I fucking thought it was a trailer to Silksong, and I never think that shit. I'm never sitting here, every direct Silksong is gonna go, but you posted that trailer and I read Hollow, I was like, oh my fucking god, this is time. And I misjudged the logo from Cherry Games with the Yacht Club one. I was like,
Yeah,
fucking
it's the new Yacht Club games. It's like a homage to Link's Awakening and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, Juice, didn't we predict the Switch OLED sales or no?
We did. I
Did we?
don't know
I
if you
thought
wrote
we
it
did.
down,
The
but I
only reason why I
remember-
say it because they did break it down.
did they?
How
I didn't
many-
hear that. So I guess I am interested in some of these numbers after all.
I like hearing that stuff.
So
Yeah, I love hearing it.
I will say
It's
the
cool.
overall Switch sales between last quarter. And
Oh
this-
yeah, OLED. All right, I'm gonna read. It was just the four of us again. I said
go ahead.
1.9. Robert said 2.2. You said 2, and then T said 2.3.
I think Robert's the closest because it's 3.99.
Yes.
Dang, T was
It's-
closest.
It actually
I'm
had. Put it this way: there are more Switch OLEDs out now than Switch Lights.
I'm surprised by that.
No,
Well, let me phrase that.
in that year.
Which- yeah, in that period. I'm sorry, I fucked that up. My bad. That's my bad. The Switch in total sold almost 19 million just in that quarter, and then they split it up where the base Switch sold 12 million, the Switch OLED sold about 4 million, and then the Switch Lite sold about
in that
3.1
quarter
million.
The quarter of the year.
or the year?
No, in that quarter.
Because their
That's-
because their
Christmas
goal
and
was
stuff,
It just
man.
says
Christmas and stuff.
No,
it's just- it says
that was
during
through
period.
that was the through that. So they're 3/4 of the way of their fiscal year at 19 million because their goal was 30 and they had to lower it for the whole year.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, I got you. Then,
so
Honestly, man, we're seeing this as the best-selling console of all time. I'm predicting it now.
Well, no,
I'm
it now
saying-
is the
I'm
the
saying-
best-selling Nintendo.
You
console.
can't predict that when it's already selling it. Someone's predicted
But-
that like 5
No,
years
no,
ago.
it has to
no,
keep
no,
selling like 20
said
million.
This, I think we said this a while ago too. I said I think it's gonna hit 160.
Wait, what did the PS4 stop
like-
at?
Like 103,
116
or 107.
No, I thought it was like 116.
Oh, it got that high? I guess.
Yeah, I think it's technically still going.
Because the PS4 is PlayStation's best-selling console, right?
PS2.
Or no, what's PS2 at?
PS2.
154.
150
Is
something.
155.
Oh, okay, so yeah,
It's
because
literally the best-selling console.
and then I
period.
think the DS is like right under it, right?
Yeah,
The DS is like
154.
152 or something. 154. 154 or
Oh
something.
Or shit like
man,
that.
The Switch would have to
I'm-
keep selling like 20 million a year for 3
It
more
would have
years.
to. It would
Well,
have
this
to.
year is already stacked in games, so this
Hey,
year
we're only halfway through the
And you get-
Switch's lifespan, you know.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
I've
look,
been
look.
seeing.
Hey,
I've been
look.
hearing so many
I know we're
people
about the
wanted
Switch
to
topics.
pick up a Switch.
one last sale.
Crazy.
In the last week that Pokemon's been out, it sold 6.5 million already.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, isn't that
That's
crazy?
That's
Holy
disgusting.
shit.
Not
I think that was-
Arceus.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
Arceus.
going
What?
to.
Yes.
All my stores over here had like a shit ton of the games, and they were all sold out. You couldn't find it
Yeah,
anywhere.
I didn't hear that.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah, I forgot
Don't
about that.
don't be surprised, right? When, like we say, people like Juice goes out and buys a Pokemon game. Okay, that's why it sold nearly 7 million in a few weeks, because for some
Yeah.
reason it's now grabbed, people who are essentially not
For
interested
some
in
reason,
the
I mean, it's
series
pretty
before.
obvious.
It's,
Hey.
people have picked it up. It's a bit like, yeah, sorry.
I feel like Breath of the
Yeah, I
Wild.
was just gonna say, like, Nintendo now has it. Just to say, like, the Breath of the Wild, and then you got like the Pokemon Breath of the Wild. Next up is, like we say, man, you're gonna get an Animal Crossing Breath of the Wild. Juice is gonna pick that shit up, you know.
Oh no, we got Kirby. Kirby's technically next, to be fair.
Yeah, but that's
Well, it's
more
not
like
a Breath of the
Odyssey.
Wild,
That's
though.
not, I'm in a giant open world shit, man.
I mean,
It's gonna be Mario's time.
I think the Switch sales could continue as people's day one Switches continue to break, and you have to buy a new one. I mean,
You
Man,
I could
come
see
on,
that.
bro. When's the last time any of us had a problem? You know,
well, two people
Well,
here.
Let's not mention Clocked It over here.
Obviously,
Terrell had to
Clocked
buy a
is-
second
I
one.
think Clocked was overall.
Well, you had to buy a new one because you're.
I did. Yeah, I did.
I still
but
have my day
I think
one.
You got
Clocked
like
was
3
more
of them.
recent.
So happy for you, Retro.
You know what's funny is I opened up my Switch like a couple years ago, and it looked as clean as the day probably it was manufactured. And Clocked It, you showed us yours, and I was like, "What the
I
hell,
don't
dude?"
get it. I don't get it. It's,
I
it's
opened
the
up-
most open
You're-
spot in the world.
Europeans don't know how to.
You
take
guys
care of
got you
their stuff.
burning wood in that house? What, you got a fireplace?
It sounds like Europeans don't know how to take care of their stuff, yo. That's what
Because I opened my PS4 up before I sold it. I had it for like 3 years. And spotless. My PS4 Pro was even making noise to the point I thought the fan was dirty or something. I took the top piece off. There was nothing. There wasn't even a speck of dust. I didn't have anything to sweep. The fan blades were absolutely
We can't
clean.
all have factory sealed basement cinemas like you.
No, but in my living room, literally my glass kitchen table, I have to dust it every week. My black TV stand, I have to dust it like every week. So I don't know how my game systems don't suck in all that dust.
Yeah, I dust mine every weekend. The thing is, it's the same with my PS4. Like the cabinet I've got is open at the back, it's open at the front, it's space around the sides. So it's just, I don't know.
I even have a
Maybe
cat now, and that's why I took my PS4 Pro. I was like, oh, there's gotta be cat. hair
Maybe
in this
it's
thing.
because all my stuff now, compared to my bedroom, right? Or it used to be in my bedroom. All my stuff now is in the living room, and everyone is always the living room is just where we always all are. So there's constant
Let's try
movement, there's
skin.
constant people.
Skin flaking off and people scratching their heads and got hair. But anyway, let's talk about the Switch being in the middle of its life cycle
Like
for
how
2
it's
years
still
in a row.
The main topic.
For 2 years in a row now. So either they've just pushed out the date of the next system, or they just like to keep saying that. Because at this point, to say it now after 5 years, that's just, I mean, to me, that's just ridiculous.
So what do you?
And
Do you
you-
so let me ask you a question. Do you think that it's literally the middle, or they're just
Maybe
fucking-
before they absolutely stop manufacturing the last Switch, could be 5 years from now. But
Yeah, maybe.
when they stopped manufacturing the Wii U, it was like 2 years after it was dead, or maybe not the Wii U, but that's probably a bad example. But like the DS or 3DS was like, oh, they finally discontinued production. I'm like, it was like 2019. I'm like, fuck, the 3DS has been dead for like 2 years. Like, oh, if you mean that life cycle, yeah. But where the new system's out, I see no scenario where we're in
It'll last
fucking
another 5 years.
2027 before the next Switch comes out. There's just no scenario
Nah,
where
there's
that's
no
true.
way. There's no way. There's no chance.
I mean, you've been saying it's not going to happen for a few years now,
the
just
next-
as Nintendo.
The next PlayStation and
Oh,
Xbox will
yes.
be out by 2027, 2028 probably.
Oh my god, you might be right, but that's crazy. Shit.
If Xbox probably isn't doing another hardware. So yeah,
When did it come out? 2020? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just can't comprehend that they think like I said, unless that's just where they think the last one will be manufactured. Yeah, maybe I could see that, but I would be shocked if 3 years from now they don't have a new system coming out.
Well, I think
Like,
it's just,
that's what everybody keeps saying, though. Again, you keep saying like you don't see it happen, but we just went over all these ridiculous sales numbers of all these games and all these systems. Why would you stop that? Why would, even if you say yeah, but maybe eventually it might die out, but it's like on its way like to be like the most selling system with all the most selling games, Animal Crossing most selling
Yeah,
games
but
in
you're
Japan
gonna-
in like 40 years and stuff. You have all these numbers. Why would you stop that?
So you can get Animal Crossing New Horizons 2 on your next system and sell 40 million of those. Like you
You
got
can
to
do. We have to wait like fucking 20 years for this Animal Crossing. You ain't getting an Animal Crossing in the next 10 years. No way.
they're
You can't
yeah,
give me
they're,
DLC for this. I'll be happy.
next 10 years, I think
they're going to put out the next one. I mean, this game's selling ridiculous. They're going to put out another one within the next
You can
console
put out
life.
deals in like a year or two. They could put out DLC for it again, more paid DLC, whatever.
Yeah,
There's
but-
no reason to instantly like, nah, it's gonna happen. You give me in the meantime, you give us like Mario Kart 9. Well, in the meantime, you will give me Mario Kart 9 and stuff. You know, shit's going crazy.
I think what it is that they just obviously don't want to say, "Hey, we're nearing the end of it."
Yeah, like
Because
somebody
then that
said,
would
it's
just-
investors.
That doesn't sound right. That
It's for
doesn't sound right.
investors. You know,
You
the
know,
thing's
for
still
investors.
selling well. You want to keep the momentum going. But I don't know what we had this.
I think for a lot of people, they don't actually want it to last another 5 years. I think that's the biggest cause of contention there.
Yeah, but it's like the old.
Like, why not? Just keep
It's like
giving
that
me
point
more.
I made. Like, what do you want? 4 3D Mario games on the same system? Like, it's just gonna get stagnant at that point. Like,
You don't need
they're
four.
gonna
We've
the
had
sales.
What we've had?
No, the
what?
sales are gonna keep killing.
Bowser
Like,
Fury.
you know, by the fourth
Man,
game
shut the fuck up.
on the same system, you think there's gonna be that same level of excitement as Odyssey, like selling 23 million? I think.
Yeah,
No, I
I
mean,
think it can have because you have all these numbers. Like I just said it yesterday in a tweet. Let's not forget the sequel to Breath of the Wild this year is the first Zelda we're getting after 5 years. You know, like Breath of the Wild is a Wii U game. Yeah, like a remake of the thing. You know, like we haven't had a Mario Kart yet and that kind of stuff. I don't care what anybody says. So we haven't had a lot of big titles yet. There's enough that could come to keep this thing going.
The
And
Nintendo
fuck yeah,
Wii
everybody
is-
who bought Everybody
only-
who bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and shit, at least half of that will pick up 9 if it's on the Switch. But maybe only a third might think of getting it on the new system. It's like you're just wasting sales if you don't bring that up.
The only thing that makes me think we got a little bit more than people were probably thinking is games like Splatoon. It makes no sense to release another online multiplayer shooter and then have the system die out in like
Well,
less than a year.
They only supported Splatoon 2 it was supposed to be a year,
like
and they
2
did it for
years.
2, and then.
No,
And then they
said
started
for
working on the
2,
3.
And then they killed it, and then they brought it back after a year. That's how they
But
did
still, I mean, Splatoon isn't selling 10 million copies a year anymore. If you want, you got to release a sequel to get potentially another 10 million people to buy your next Splatoon game. The same thing with the console itself. You know,
That's what they're doing.
you hit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You can't just have the Switch out forever. It's just, you know.
No, it's
I
not having to switch off forever. I mean, if we just go back to the Nintendo Wii, where you were talking about, getting tired of games or whatever, and too many thing. We had, the Wii was out for 10 years, pretty much on the market for 10 years before we got the Wii U, and
No,
we
I mean,
had to.
It's 4
It
years.
was
We
like
had
7.
Oh, it was 6 before the Wii U, but the Wii kept selling for another 3 years. It was 2006 to 2012.
Still kept getting software and stuff.
Yeah, because it was.
I was still playing. I was still playing
Nintendo, though.
Xenoblade. I was still playing Pandora's Towers or The Last Story. And
But those games came
or,
out 4 years after. 4 years into the life of the Switch or Wii. You were playing them after, but it came in that 2010 2011 period, which
Yeah.
was years 4 and 5. But after
Yeah,
that,
no wait there. The Switch. No wait there. The Wii came out in 2006.
Yeah.
and the Wii U came out
2012.
2012.
2012.
Yeah.
So 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, so it wasn't 4 years. It was
No,
it
by
was,
the
it was,
time
it was,
that the Wii kind of hit its peak was 2010 into 2011, with Skyward Sword, which didn't sell for shit.
I got
Yeah.
2012 on the last story.
I was going
That
to
was
say
12?
those games came out later.
Well, I guess
No,
yeah,
but
in the US they did. Yeah, you're right. In the West,
I think the
Yeah, but they came out that same.
in
they didn't
Japan
come
they were
out
out well
after
the
before.
the Wii
problem
U
is
launched.
that the problem is that the Wii was kind of shot commercially after like 2009, 10.
Yeah, I mean,
around
just
there.
look at the sales that
2010
drop
was
off
still
of
a
Galaxy 2 over Galaxy 1. It was like almost 50% of the sales. And why? 2010 was a good year for the system. So I don't know why it is. I don't know why that's how consumerism is. But
I think the gimmick burned out quicker than I think.
was it because it was a direct sequel, not
The
some
gimmick,
brand new?
no, they did no. See, I always argue that against the Wii. The gimmick didn't burn out at all. There's still so many ideas that could have been done. It was a
I mean,
developer's.
it burned out in the mind of the consumer. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, sure.
The consumer at that point was done with the Wii, like conceptually, versus like the Switch. That's
Yeah, the
still
Switch
owned.
concept isn't anything that's like, oh my god, I'm
But
sick
I think
of
that's
this.
what hel-
They're
but I
not,
think
I'm
that's
sick
what-
of
that's
motion
what helped it.
controls. You know, there's
Because
nothing
it-
like
it-
that with the Switch. So,
It
yeah.
didn't feel like it. It didn't. The hampering of games. on
So
Switch
for
made
you
more-
guys then, if the Switch continued now for another 5, let's say it continued now for another 5 years, right? And there was no new console. We had a Switch now for another 5 years. That's all there was. Okay, and we got we're getting Bayonetta, we're getting Splatoon, we're getting Zelda, right? And we're
Metroid
getting
Prime.
Mario and Rabbids. Yeah, we're getting Prime
Kirby.
4. Okay, we're getting Kirby, we're getting all these games, right? And then they started, banging out, maybe just like a Mario Odyssey 2, a Mario Kart 9, and just all these continuations and some sequels as well as some new stuff, because that's
And
that's
Rhythm
one thing we need to remember right now is that people are just starting to play Shin Megami Tensei 5, or I just completed Bravely Default 2. All these games that we were originally asking for that I was worried about weren't coming. I'm playing Monster Hunter Rise. I got nearly 30 hours in Monster Hunter Rise now. I can't fucking get off it. And we know more stuff is coming from Monster Hunter. So at
Robert's gonna
least
start in only like 2 years playing all that stuff.
so at least in the next 2 years, right? At least in the next 2 years, we know we got some serious shit coming.
Yeah.
Right, that 2 years we got some serious fucking shit coming that I can't wait for. And that's just what we know of in the next 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it just went on for another year or two after that, with just a few more new games, a few more excitements, a new Monster Hunter, and all this type of stuff, do you feel like you would be bored with the machine by then, even if the quality of the games was still what it is now, which is fantastic?
Probably not.
Not me. I mean,
I'm
not me
already
personally.
bored with the system, so.
You just bought Pokemon.
Yeah, no, but
so
that's not stopping me from
that's-
buying a
That's what I'm
game.
saying. That's what I'm
The
saying.
system
though,
itself is such a, like, it's, I mean, yeah, it's my second system, but it's because I only have 3 right now. I have a PC, I have a PS5, and I have the Switch. If I pick up a Series X, I feel pretty confident that would overtake the Switch for like just playtime in a year. I
You
just
think even with 2022 though?
yeah,
I
well,
don't think so.
yeah. If Breath of the Wild comes out, obviously that's gonna be
It's
it.
gonna
But
hinder-
for me, it's just gonna be
hinder
the
releases.
like it's been for the last few years. The 1 or 2, maybe hopefully 3, maybe 4 would be great. Like, oh, I gotta buy that game. I can't skip that game. But if I'm doing that in 2025, I mean, if my day one Switch is still alive, I probably buy the games. I tell you right now, I have no intentions of buying a second Switch if this one dies. Like, unless they put out something better than the OLED revision, that would entice me. I don't know. I just don't feel. I don't feel anything towards the system itself at this point. I'm just like Terrell. I've seen he was playing Arceus, and I'm like, it popped up, Insane Game Freak playing or whatever your name pops up as. It's like I can't do anything. Like I'm playing it. I can't even just say, "Yo, check out my my lineup" or something. I can't even send you a screenshot or a message saying, "Hey," like it just feels so out of touch with that kind. I mean, yeah, when I do it on PlayStation,
I mean, it is.
it's just something I do. I don't. You guys don't send me like screenshots, but for me personally, it's just cool to be able to do that. Like
For sure.
and there's just no connection.
I done a video on that before when I said, you know, I did agree that consoles now cannot just be games machines like they were before.
Yeah,
in terms of just plugging in the game and playing. You know, people can't accept it anymore. And I can understand that. You know, the gaming has completely changed in terms of, you know, connectivity and, you know, and how we, you know, talk to each other and, you know, all that stuff. It has completely changed.
Just being able to stream, like not a ton of people watch my streams, but I was like, I can easily record up to an hour of fucking Bloodborne if I wanted to with commentary and upload that, and it's just all done. Few presses of the controller button. It's like if Nintendo, if nothing else, they just release a version of the Switch that adds more stuff like that. That would revitalize me because you know, I had my graphics card and then I sold, or not my graphics, capture card. Because, you know, sitting down on my computer, having to move my dock and, you know, and set it all up was just too much of a hassle, wasn't worth it for me. But if I could, like, I would have streamed Pokemon Legends Arceus if the Switch had the option. I guarantee I would have streamed my first couple hours. You know, and maybe only 20 people or 30 people would have watched it, but at least having that option, that would kind of help revitalize the Switch hardware for me. Stuff along those lines. And then
can you still get joy out of it if you're just playing good games?
I mean, it's fine.
Do you need that visual and continuous social aspect in order to enjoy a games machine?
No, but it definitely lessens the enjoyment. Like, you know, everyone makes fun of the cell phone to do voice chat. Well, I didn't have my cell phone, but it was charging, and I was like, man, I want to tell Terrell what you know, I want to ask him this, I want to show him this, and I'm like, the phone's on the charger in the other room. I'll just keep playing, you know. So it was something on the forefront of my mind. I wanted to share stuff with him.
It sucks because the Wii U had that.
Yeah.
The Wii U literally had
the
that.
Miiverse, man.
The Miiverse.
Yeah.
Literally had that. And they somehow were like, nope. That's it. Like
Twitter.
You were able to message each other on Miiverse and send screenshots.
I mean, I can send a group of 4 photos to Twitter, you know, I can do that, which I do quite often. I don't know, it's just like if there's and like I was saying, it's not just me. Like, I'm still gonna buy Breath of the Wild 2 even if it comes out in 2023, you know, on the Switch with my launch day Switch. But I'm thinking 2025, you know, if they're releasing the third, technically fourth, because you could count Bowser's Fury as the second. Let's say they have an Odyssey 2 in 2023, and then 2 years later they have like a Bowser's Fury style, like another smaller game, and it's like at that point I don't, just like I said with Galaxy 2 selling about half as many as Galaxy 1, I just don't think it makes good business sense to drag it out that long. If you had a new system launching with a new 3D Mario game or Mario Kart 9, that's going to do more than releasing those games at year 9 of the Switch. I don't. That's just how I look at it.
The reality is that people get excited about new tech. New tech, even if you're not a tech guy, new shit that's shiny and that is and is different. Like that will always draw attention. I mean, that happens all the fucking time. So I see realistically, if I'm just gonna be fair about it, I would at most, and I mean at most, we go maybe 2025 is like the longest I'd be able to put up with it. Only in the sense of like, okay, we're hitting like, we'd be hitting like almost 10 years at that point. Yeah, it'd be like 8 years. That's the most I put up with. Realistically,
I think another thing with the Switch as well, sorry, is that compared to potentially other console generations, I think finally now that we are starting to see perhaps peak of what the Switch can fundamentally do.
Yeah.
You know, so in terms, no, we'll see more. Don't get me wrong. We're going to see more. I was watching Bayonetta 3 trailer earlier again today. I was just like, okay, I can't fucking wait for this game. But you know, we'll see more. But in terms of, I think that smoke coming out of the system. This thing is being pushed to the max so much. It's like Perfect Dark 64 or something like.
I think they already did that with Luigi's Mansion. That's the fan kicked on constantly when I was playing Luigi's Mansion for me, and my system's clean.
People can always say that stuff also, but like, let me put it this way, and this is no diss on the game because I can't wait to play it and I think it looks amazing. But do you honestly think if we'd have a new Nintendo hardware, it's PlayStation 5 strength and all this shit, whatever, do you not think Pokemon Legends wouldn't look exactly the same as it does now? Doesn't matter what the system can do if the devs don't push it. No, go look at Sword and Shield, for example. There's literally no reason why it looks like that. There's no reason why it looks like that.
It would look better.
Yeah, because Sword and Shield on the
Wii, not like a ridiculous.
If they made a Pokemon game on the Wii compared to the Wii U / Switch power, the Wii version, we're gonna say, oh, it looks like a fucking GameCube N64 game. It's just they're gonna be that much percentage below what the system's standard is, no matter what, but it'd still be higher. I mean, the next system, if it was powerful, the Pokemon company, it would look way better than Arceus, but it wouldn't look nearly as good as what Nintendo does.
But it's like you just said it yourself, though. Like, Arceus doesn't even come fucking close to Xenoblade Chronicles X, for example. Like,
I didn't say it came close. I just said...
That's what you said, with the shitty textures and the weird-ass fuzzy shit and whatever,
No, I said Xenoblade Chronicles X had better textures, but...
You can give all that stuff, but it's not like if you get the next-gen system, like, everything is automatically going to look... No, I don't know. You can still push the Switch.
Well, I don't even know why.
Yeah, you're talking about Pokemon, though. I mean, they never take
that's exactly what I mean.
But that's Pokemon. Nintendo takes advantage of their hardware.
That's a bad example.
Nintendo's going to take advantage.
No, that is exactly my example, though. You can have the strongest next-gen hardware, but it's about what the devs do with it that matters in the end. So it's not like you can get the next-gen system and all of a sudden all these devs...
You don't think Monolith Soft's game's going to look amazing on a PS5 level?
I think it's going to look amazing on the fucking Switch already. That's my whole point.
Nah, that's two different points you just made.
With all my complaints about Xenoblade Chronicles X, that's one of the most beautiful fucking looking games out there, and that's a last gen console. The Switch can easily do better than that if they wanted to.
I wouldn't say. I mean, it can do better, but
it can do better, exactly.
But Pokemon and Xenoblade have one thing in common, and that is the repeating water. With the moonlight, the water has that same repeating pattern of of a bunch of tiles of the exact same thing. But overall, the game just had better texture work. But at the same time, it was running at a lower resolution, and it was just going for something completely different visually. So it's a little hard to compare. But the point is, Pokemon Company's not going to take full advantage of Nintendo's next system if it's more, significant.
That doesn't mean Nintendo.
But Nintendo's going. Just look at fucking Luigi's Mansion 3. You tell me Luigi's Mansion 4 isn't going to blow your mind on a PS5 level or PS4
Luigi's Mansion
Pro?
3 had no reason to look as good as it did, all things considered.
And I truly think that's pushing the Switch to pretty much its max. Just because of the way.
And even if it is pushing it to the max. Is that max not something you want to see again from another game?
I mean,
if they done Luigi's Mansion 4, would you not want to see that again?
If Luigi's Mansion 4 comes out, it's just gonna look almost identical to that game. So
what's wrong with that?
Nothing, I guess. It's just not exciting.
I've never understood about, because we've gone through so many generations where so many sequels have appeared on the same machine. And we've all loved them. Whether you play Super Mario World or you play Yoshi's Island, where you play Metro Prime 1 or Metro Prime 2. Some people can see the difference between Prime 2 and Prime 1. Trust me, Prime 2 graphically is much better than Prime 1. I know that for the fact. In fact, I've played the
retro version.
I think the issue is more so that, like, as generations move forward, it became more and more common to see, like, the second, third iteration of the franchise on the same console, and you're like, "Fuck, we're only like 3 years in. What the hell's going on?"
I kind of lean more towards the one per generation. I've always appreciated the one per generation kind of. it just makes it more special when the next game comes out. When it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I
like
can understand.
when
that.
you
You know?
when you look at Nintendo, the majority of the franchises that double up or even triple up are usually either the side games or the occasional like main series game. Mario for the most part will only have usually either one, two at the most on one system. Zelda's about in the same ballpark, and other IPs usually hang in that one per console generation. Now there's exceptions like the sports games, the party games. Splatoon currently is in that double up situation. But like we usually hang around that one or two per generation for the main IP stuff. Now, if you were a Sony fan, then you're used to, at least from the PS3 generation, getting the second, third, and fourth version of a game on the same console. I mean, hell, Uncharted went from what
Yeah, 1 and 2 and 3, yeah.
1 to 3 on one console. I think.
And look at the difference between 3 and 2 alone already in Uncharted. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. The Switch can easily do that shit too. And Breath of the Wild 2 is going to show you what I always said, that there's no reason Breath of the Wild 2 is going to look like Breath of the Wild 1. There's no reason for it.
yeah. I always said it will look better. I think we just debated how much better it's gonna.
Yeah,
look.
that's the question.
Because I mean,
That's a debate, though, isn't it? It's
well,
like
here's the other thing, Clark.
it doesn't matter how I can't gel with it. I just can't gel with the notion of a sequel needing to look so much better.
And it's not
Yeah,
just
I
the
know what you
visuals
mean.
though. It's not just
Like,
like
what do you mean? It's not just the visuals. What
All right, so
No.
we already saw with the Breath.
I'll give an example. If the game mechanics are different enough to justify the sameness in the visuals, like if they're doing, give me an example. If Breath of the Wild 2 looks exactly like Breath of the Wild 1, but there's a lot more crazy shit going on in terms of the moves and abilities Link's has and how and the level of traversal he can do, people can usually forgive a game for looking very samey as its predecessor if it's doing other shit.
yeah, like adding
But it's gotta
dungeons.
feel like the resources went somewhere. I think that's really what it boils down to. It has to feel like the resources went somewhere. Even if it didn't go into visuals, it definitely went into mechanics and improving like
See,
physics and shit.
I don't agree with that, and I'm not gonna go into this what I'm gonna say now, but I have to mention it. Like realistically, how much more is Prime 2 doing than Prime 1?
It's not doing that much more.
Yeah, exactly.
I
It's
don't know,
visually
man.
better looking, maybe,
Yeah,
but it's not
it's
like
a
it's
step.
a whole
I mean-
different game all of a sudden.
No, but it's
Same
they
with
went
Galaxy.
they went with a
Galaxy 2 and Galaxy 2 does less than Galaxy 1, I feel, in some
Whoa,
aspects.
whoa,
No,
whoa, whoa,
it's-
whoa,
No,
whoa, whoa, no, it does
When
not.
it comes to certain aspects and stuff, but that's what I mean.
Doesn't have a hub.
That's what Clocked is saying as well. You don't need a whole next-gen system to have a completely different game. It never really used to be like that, and I just don't see the need for that. It's not like you're going to be less excited to have played Breath of the Wild 2 now, or that you would be more excited if it was on a different console. Like, I don't see that.
Well, here's the thing I think that I need to say for myself personally. I know Clock had asked me a while back, like, don't you want to see Gravity Rush 3? And I'm like, I'm just not. I've never been that big into sequels in general. But yeah, if it's like Zelda where they change it up or 3D Mario where they change it up each time. But I'm going to use our favorite example, New Super Mario Brothers. Now, it started on the DS, then it went to Wii, then 3DS and then Wii U. And even though obviously it went huge change from DS to Wii U, but we were bored of that aesthetic. We were bored of the new Mario. I mean, I know it's not the visual part of it, but in certain aspects, that's what I'm thinking of when you say, don't you want Luigi's Mansion 4 on the Switch? Well, if it's just if I'm just in a building and I'm going up floors and it looks the same and plays the same, then I'm not going to be that excited about it anyway. So it's kind of hard for me to separate, yeah, if you wait 5 years from now and put out a Luigi's Mansion on the next system where they can do more, whether it's with the physics or something, that's the stuff that excites me. It's not just, it has to look better. Like, it has to be run at a higher resolution. It's like, for me, I don't need multiple of the same type of game or same franchise on the same system, because if it's going to stay the same, like I said, I would take 3 completely different 3D Mario games on the same system, be happy. There's no question about that. Like Odyssey Bowser's Fury style than something completely new. Yeah, I'm not gonna complain, but I didn't feel like I needed Galaxy 3 on the Wii after I played Galaxy 2. Like, I wanted them to do something new again. That's just how I've always been.
But can I ask you specifically this question then?
Mm-hmm.
Because like a lot of people want like Mario Odyssey 2, but like if you don't want it to be the same,
I don't
how
want
are
Mario
you even
Odyssey
seeing Galaxy? You don't even want Odyssey 2?
I don't want
Okay.
Odyssey 2. I
Even
want
I
them
want
to
Odyssey
do.
2,
I want them to do a new game. I wouldn't be mad. Like, there's so many ideas they could take with Cappy and stuff. I wouldn't be mad at them. But if you ask me personally, do what they always do: come up with something new and creative, and blow me away that way. Like, I would rather have that than get Odyssey 2. Unless it's Sunshine 2, then I definitely don't want that.
Let's go! Let's
Jesus.
go!
So I guess I'm probably a bad person to have this
It's-
discussion with, because
yeah,
I just don't really care. I don't
think so,
really
'cause
want sequels in general. So
I think so, because I think most people, when they stumble upon something, a good thing that they enjoyed, I think instinctively you want more of it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
Yeah.
at least once more. Or something. That's why we always ask for sequels to our favorite fucking games. That's why me and Retro just like, well, Retro mostly, you know, 'cause he's always chipping on it. You know, I want Bat and Kaitos too.
I
You
want
want
3.
more of the same. I want another Skies of Arcadia. There doesn't have to be another Skies of Arcadia. Yeah, the
One
game
more.
starts and the game finishes. It's fucking tastic from start to finish. It ends conclusively.
That's why I
But
say with
because you
Skies
loved
of
it so much,
Arcadia,
I'll just take a direct sequel to that fucker as it was.
with Skies of
Um,
Arcadia, I think it's such a perfect game. That's the one game where I never wanted a sequel. I want a full HD remake of that exact game, though. That's what I want
it's
to
like
see.
Odyssey. I know like everyone on here is certain ways about Odyssey. I fucking loved Mario Odyssey. I gave that shit 10 out of 10. I think it's fucking perfect. I
I
love
want
it.
a sequel from that.
I want
I'd
I
take
want
a
an
sequel
Odyssey 2
heartily.
because I enjoyed Odyssey 1 so much. It's not that I would reject a new Mario or anything like that. But if Odyssey 2 came, yes, fucking please push my console on for longer. You know, if it's like Splatoon 3, our gripes about Splatoon 3 have mostly, between us all, mostly been about how they're going to tackle the single player and stuff like that. Like, you know, and how they're going to change up the multiplayer.
Availability of modes.
We all want change with our sequels and our new games. Of course, that's why we get bored of Gears of War, because you don't do anything fucking different than Gears of War. That's why we probably got bored of Uncharted on the PS3, because 1, 2, and 3 are theoretically pretty much exactly the same.
yeah,
They
doing the
just
same
they
thing.
tighten up mechanics or just change the setting. It's like why we got bored of Tomb Raider on the PlayStation 1 and stuff. We went from 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and fucking 5, and they all done the same shit. And they all ended up still looking the same as well. But you know, you want sequels and things to things that you love. But yeah, of course, you still want to see change and stuff. You know, for me to sit here and think that Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be exactly the same as Breath of the Wild 1 to the point where I'm just like, this is just too familiar. Especially coming from Nintendo, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
If you
that
said,
game would have
if you
been
said
out already.
if you said any other company, especially like if look at God of War Ragnarok, yeah, look at God of War Ragnarok. I look at Horizon. Yeah, I even look at Horizon, a new Horizon. I'm just like, everyone's just going, it looks so fucking different, all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, you know, graphically it looks better. And then they're changing a few things up, but I can already see that original game there, and it not evolving too much. But that's just me.
I
You know,
feel
that's just
I feel the melee and the grapple system is gonna completely change the way you handle combat in that game. The bow and arrow
we'll
looks the
see.
same,
Yeah,
but everything else to me, it just looks that way. It might end up feeling the same, but that one looks. That's what's got me excited was the improved melee, the grapple system they showed. If it just looked literally like the same exact combat, same melee where you have the one heavy and the one light, and you just spam that shit once you're over leveled, yeah, I'll wait for a price drop. You know, I'll wait till that game's $20. But they showed me enough different. And on the same note, I don't want Horizon. If this comes out, I enjoy it. Yeah, it's not maybe as revolutionary as I'd hope. I don't want Horizon 3 to come out 3-4 years from now on the PS5. That's just me personally. Even if I enjoy it, I'd just rather have them make something new. Or if Horizon 3 comes out 6-7 years from now, then the excitement will be back. Just like I said about Forza Horizon. As much as I love 5, like, it's so well done. It's a polished game. objectively speaking, I mean, there's really no issues. The game is just solid, but it's been 3 years. I played pretty much the same game 3 years ago with Forza Horizon 4. I haven't touched my Xbox Game Pass in probably 5 weeks now. Like right before we did the Game of the Year podcast, that week or I think the week before. It's the last time I booted up my Xbox app on my PC. Because it's just, if it had been 5-6 years since I played a Forza Horizon, I guarantee you I would have put full amount of time in that. So for me, like, it just, I don't know, it loses its appeal, just to have a pretty samey sequel. I think Breath of the Wild 2, if they were going to have it just be the same, that game would have been out 2 years ago if they were just going to kind of do the same game again in the same world. I think because they did decide to take it way further is why it's taken so long. So, that's just how.
It's why some of us got bored of the Pokemon games. From where we started, we went from the Game Boy to the Game Boy Advance and DS and stuff. But just formula-wise and the way things were going, they weren't evolving enough. Because there's so many iterations of them. It's like what it is with Pokemon. There's so many fucking iterations of a single generation, all pretty much doing the same thing. Where you've got red, fucking blue, yellow, pink, fucking burgundy, fucking whatever, just all in the same generation, just saying, oh, now Pikachu walks behind you, or after a while you think, fuck, okay, now I need something a bit more fresh. And sometimes a new lick of paint can help, but for over time, IPs can get stale and stagnant if they don't change enough. But I've already seen that. I've already really seen that from other companies in a single generation, and maybe I say other companies. We complain about Kirby, as an example.
Yeah, I think Kirby and Yoshi kind of feel that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so much Yoshi. Yoshi handheld maybe, but Yoshi console has been quite different until we got to Crafted World, where Crafted World, even though it done something different, there was just something.
I was surprised looking at footage of the older Yoshi games, though, how much is still the same from back then. Like I really thought they started anew with Crafted World, but then I look back, I'm like, oh shit, that was in Yoshi's Island.
You got to think we haven't had that many console Yoshis. We've had Yoshi's Island on a SNES. We had Yoshi's Story in 64, and then we went all the way to Woody World.
Well, there's new Yoshis. Console. Wasn't there a new on? Well,
no,
that's
on. Yeah, I'm talking console-wise here. So the console Yoshis is only until Crafted World, where somebody I think that was just that game though.
And it might,
I think Yoshi and Kirby in general are kind of like outside of most franchises, like let's say Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong does the same thing, just better always. I think Yoshi and Kirby are two franchises that try to be too different all the time, and that's just not good. Like when you have Star Allies and Crafted World, like they're like abominations of the franchises and shit because they try to go so different and shit. It's like you guys said, because everybody always, that's what I say. Like Crafted World doesn't feel like Woolly World. It feels like the Nintendo 64 one. Like it's just a different style of game, and that's the same with like Star Allies. You're trying to like add all these helpers and all this bullshit. Like it's too different.
Yeah, look at what I mean. For me personally, on the outside looking in, I saw a lot more excitement for the Kirby Forgotten Land trailer than Star Allies.
Oh, yeah.
That seemed to generate a lot more excitement. And that's kind of, yeah, they could have done that on Wii U. They could have had a 3D Kirby game on Wii. Probably that would have looked good for that system.
64. Cool.
So I'm not saying they couldn't have done it, but with like Arceus, yeah, they could have made a more of an open world. Like it would have looked like it would have looked half as good as Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. Probably it would have been fucking blurry, low. I mean, just look at Shulk's face in Xenoblade. What they had to do to make that game run at all. Your Pokemon trainer would have looked like a N64 GoldenEye character face, and it could have been done. But
Xenoblade on a Wii is a technical.
It is, but when you look at like Shulk in the character model's faces, it's like the weak part. That's why I point him out. And imagine what Pokemon's version of that. They already have low textures on fucking in Arceus. What would it look like on a Wii game? But so
Hey, the ones on the GameCube, the faces of the Pokemon in Colosseum, the trailer looks pretty good.
what I'm saying is Arceus needed that. They needed it for the Pokemon team. They needed the Switch's level of power, which could have been Wii U as well if the Wii U was successful, before they could achieve this game. And actually, they could have mixed up the formula in other ways before then, but finally doing it on the Switch. Now, if Arceus 2 comes out 18 months from now, and it's just more of the same, I'm not probably gonna pick it up. You guys need to put this thing in the oven. Maybe wait to the next system and build upon it with the other iterations. But if they're gonna do like a Legends 2 or something, me personally, I don't want to see that in 2 years or 18 months from now. That's just too soon for me. But like Wave Race,
I just think we need to give the GameCube and the Wii more credit, because at the end of the day, Beyond Good and Evil is pretty much a full 3D Pokemon fucking Snap, right?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You bong around the whole game, taking photos of all creatures and stuff. That game still looks fucking legit today, man. Absolutely legit.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
I think they could have done anything back then, but they just didn't. So I don't.
There's some
wanna...
limitations. They couldn't done anything. I mean,
I think afterwards,
yeah.
I think afterwards is also just personal preference, and everybody's like a different type of gamer. For example, when I look at like Mario Kart 8 or Mario Odyssey, I'm not thinking like, man, I would want this to look so much better. Like give me something that looks exactly the same, I'll be fucking happy. Like I don't need it to be like more than it is. That's why I'm just like, that's why I'm feeling to stick with the Switch. And again, like Mario Kart 9, if we would get it, it's going to automatically look better, because I don't care what anybody says. Mario Kart 8 is an 8-year-old fucking game, like
it'll look cleaner, look better, but
so it's going to look better either way.
It's not going to be the difference between Wii and 8. It's going to be a smaller. It might just be more details in the back, or more details in the carts, more details in the characters. Otherwise, it might look very similar. But Ayers, I got to ask for clarification, because I don't. He's known for saying pretty sensational things, but he says a new Donkey Kong right now would be a huge disappointment for many new Nintendo console owners. It's clear where the future resides with most of Nintendo's IPs. I don't even know what that means.
I don't even care what that means, man.
Yeah,
I think
give me a new Duty Donkey Kong.
A new
right
Duty
now.
Donkey Kong right now
say-
would be
say
huge. It would be, it would outsell Returns. I think it would be 6 to 8 million probably. I mean, I could be wrong. That's what I feel, but thinking about Donkey Kong, it's almost a blessing in disguise that they didn't do another one right away for me, because I didn't care for the third of the original trilogy. Like, I just thought that they kind of pushed out those three pretty close together.
That one's garbage.
That's an example of like, what they were just what they have to work with. It was one of those things where they needed to maybe have the N64, if Rare would have had, which they did with Donkey Kong 64, to do something different. If they just
But I just want to state, like, for me, just because Robert also said that, the third of the original is not garbage because of the level or because I wanted it to be more. It's because the original has Donkey Kong and Diddy, and then 2 removes Donkey Kong, and then 3 removes Diddy, and you're playing with a fucking baby on the baby goddamn elephant. It looks
we had
horrible.
Dixie in the second one. That was a cool
and then
addition.
Dixie transfers over, but then you got like the baby monkey and the baby outfit on the
Yeah,
baby elephant. Like, shut the fuck up! Like, no, that's just stupid. But that's just again.
That's a bad example, because
baby,
that's very un-Nintendo like which was Rare. It was Rare, the company who did that, but I feel like they just wanted to ride that Super NES wave with those pre-rendered CGI visuals and try to compete with the PlayStation as long as they could before the N64 came out.
I just 100% salute Rare's trying to expand the DK family. Because I do like most of the DK Kongs that Rare actually made. I like Lanky Kong.
Yeah, on the N64, I like all the Kongs and stuff, but that baby always pissed me off, man.
Tiny Kong.
I mean, I don't want to get into it.
on the babies,
I don't want to get it. We'll get out of here in a little bit, but I I don't feel the original Donkey Kong gameplay as, for me, after Returns and Tropical Freeze. It was a little hard, a little bit of a wake up call to go back. I did love their first game. I mean, I played through it 100 times, but man.
All right, let's end the podcast.
But I don't think that game holds up, gameplay wise and controls, like
Don't do this.
like Mario Brothers.
No, we're going back in time again.
Mario Brothers 2.
I don't like it.
Like Mario Brothers 2, I just played it last year, and it felt as good as when it came out. But when I went back to the original Donkey Kong Country, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I didn't give it enough time to get used to it, but I don't know if I like the way this moves and
that is still a masterpiece. It's still a masterpiece.
To me, it doesn't. I'd prefer the Returns and Tropical Freeze style.
That's why I have to say, because Clocked made a really good point a while ago, that sometimes you have to destroy that nostalgia, and it was really hard for me to admit. But Tropical Freeze is without a doubt a much better game, and it's fucking art.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad game by any means.
It's like Juice's and T's GameCube and Wii argument. The Wii's better. The Wii's better. Good. I'm glad it's fucking better. The next console should be fucking better. And the following games should be fucking better. It's a crazy argument. You know, it doesn't mean that the GameCube is shit.
Thinks that
just like, hey, it succeeded.
Well the people who only played Nintendo's version of Madden and FIFA, aka Pokemon or Animal Crossing, you don't think there's a percentage those people are going to be hugely disappointed by a Donkey Kong game? Get out of here. If it looks good, it's going to be like Dread, sell 2.7 million in the first couple
months.
Nintendo's
version of Madden and FIFA.
Yeah,
I can understand the yearly rollout of Pokemon, but
that's like the only thing that's a reference to, honestly.
Animal Crossing just crosses all spectrums, all races, all sexes, all nations, all ages, all levels of gamer, from the most hardcore, dedicated gamer to the person who only plays Animal Crossing and fucking Candy Crush. I mean, it encompasses so many fucking people.
Yeah.
That's what makes it special. Yeah, Donkey Kong's not going to do that. A 2D anything's not going to do that. Even a 3D Donkey Kong's not going to do that, because Donkey Kongs are fucking hardcore, challenging ass games. So yeah, that's not going to be.
Only real players play Donkey Kong.
Not going to sell 100 million copies. There's going to be a couple, 2, 3, 4 million that are going to buy and think that's one of the best games on Switch. If Retro Studios made a new Donkey Kong, or if Nintendo's. If that's true about EAD, the 3D Mario team working on a Donkey Kong game, then it's going to be amazing, but it's not going to sell as well as Pokemon or Mario Odyssey or fucking Super Mario Party or 1-2 Switch, unfortunately. But
Switch effect, man.
Not every game has to sell that well. That's the thing. They don't have to make a Donkey Kong game try to appeal to 37 million people.
I think, I don't know, you might be wrong. And I think Kirby and the Forgotten Lands is going to prove that. I feel if Kirby and the Forgotten Lands is going to sell way more than previous Kirby games, a 3D Donkey Kong could do the exact same.
How much retro?
I could see that game getting in the 6.
No, let's end the podcast. Plus. This doesn't happen a lot. This is the perfect ending.
I could see Kirby doing 6 million in its first year or something, 5-6 million, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair. I would hang.
Kirby does have more mass appeal than Donkey Kong.
I would say 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
I think Kirby's a beloved character, whether its game series is that
good.
Wait, what time limit are you giving Kirby for those sales? I'd like to do some predictions with that shit.
Well, we can do that next week or something.
Yeah, we're gonna trust you.
There's gonna be some good shit, man.
But so interesting discussion. Started early. And that's good because, look, and it's not 9:30 right now. It's only 7:25. So
yeah, man.
Appreciate every Monday, man. Every Monday.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody for tuning in. And who's looking forward to Uncharted movie, huh? Raise your hand if you're going to see that.
Look, I'm going to be playing.
I want to see it, but I'm not going to go to the cinema for it, though.
You know how I know it's not going to be great?
I'm not excited for it, but I'm going to watch it. I'll watch it.
Oh, God.
The TV spots and the interviews, the promotions they're doing with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg just screams of we gotta try to convince people to go see this movie. I don't think it's gonna be that good. I
don't think it's gonna be good.
I hope
really
it would be.
I don't think it's gonna be.
I thought it would be a good game to make a movie about, but it just doesn't look like they gave it the attention or care it deserved.
I agree.
But anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.